even one more chance. You found the coolest place to be, the PlayStation collecting series. Come on, won't you sing with me? Welcome to the show. Gather round the boys and girls, collectors from around the world. We'll show the people what they need to know. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show.
Yo.
Hey.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the show. Nice, I didn't do the applause twice. We did it. It's the PlayStation Collectors Podcast, Season 4, Episode 33. My name's Joe Red. And joining us, as always, is my co-host, Mr. Figsy, all the way from Australia. How you doing, buddy?
Hey. What's up, everyone?
And our special guest this evening, returning for the third time? Fourth time? I don't know.
I think it's the fourth time already.
Yeah, man, you're getting up there. We got to keep track of the royalty. We call them who get to come.
I think it's the fifth time because you've been on once a season and you're on twice season one. I'm pretty sure.
Well, that way
Was I?
that means you get.
I'll check during the episode. We'll do a check.
I can't even remember.
That's right. You get a second one. Okay. Let's go.
Excellent.
Well, welcome back, man. How you doing? How's life?
you.
How you been?
Oh, life is great. Collecting has been really great, especially the last couple of months. Completed 2 more sets a few months ago.
Nice, congrats.
Been going really, really good.
Nice. What?
Is that
What's
13 complete sets now?
I think it's 14.
Damn.
I'm not
Awesome.
sure.
That's sick. Which 2 did you finish?
I finished Vectrex and Interton Video Computer 4000, which is those ones right there.
Nice.
What intertone? Say that one more time.
Interton Video Computer 4000.
Okay. So this is
It's,
definitely some sort of European PC that came out in the late 80s, 90s, something.
Yeah, it's a console, late 70s, developed and
Wow.
built in Germany.
Okay.
37 games released for it. Actually, I can
I've never even heard of this thing. That's pretty
plug
cool,
one
though.
right here. They have really cool, like really big boxes
Mm-hmm.
that gatefold open like this,
Oh wow, that's cool.
and they have
Nice.
also these overlays for the controllers, kind of like in television games.
Yep. Those are important. Those are probably worth more than the games.
I don't think so because no one collects these except for
Oh.
me.
Okay. Fair.
Yeah, it's really funny because this is the final game that I needed. I've been needing this for like 4 or 5 years. This was the last one I needed, and this was just the first one that was ever for sale in that entire time. And yeah, it was, and the seller obviously didn't know how rare it was because it was an auction, and all of the auctions had 2 games in them. So this one was paired with
Perfect.
game
Perfect.
23. So I don't know why they did that, but I ended up winning it for 100, which
Nice.
is only a third of my max bid.
Yeah,
Like,
nice.
My max bid
awesome.
was like 300 or something, but again, like no one except for me cares about this stuff. So
Well, there might have been people after it who just didn't see it because of the way it was listed.
Mhm.
maybe, yeah.
Rare stuff, you've got to put it in a buy it now and leave it there because it might take 2 months for someone to even notice it's online.
Yeah, most of the games for this system are buy it now. It's rare to see auctions for them at all. And at conventions, I never see them anyway. I think the last time I've seen a game for the Interton at a convention must have been like pre-pandemic.
Are all the
So-
games numbered 1 to like 37? Is this the system that's got like 1 missing?
It's numbered 1 through 40, but it's 34, 35, and 39 that were never released. So
Yeah.
there are gaps in
I
there,
remember
but
seeing photos.
yeah.
It's
That
weird.
sucks. It's
I
almost
think
like
that-
you want fan-made versions of these games just so you can fill in the gaps.
I believe there's only a prototype for one of them, and the other 2 are still like never found, or probably never even started programming properly, or all the prototypes have been destroyed at some point.
Yeah, it's crazy. A 45-year-old game. Like, what are you gonna do?
Mm.
Yeah, so when you were talking about the listings earlier, that was like one of the strategies that I used to use trying to buy online, as I would always check bundle deals and lots. I always, like, not specific games, just always check lots to see if there was a Godzilla in there or if there was something rare in there, because that honestly would be your best way to get some rare games a lot of the times, and then you can just sell all the crap you don't want. And, like, you know, so even if you overspent, you could just, like, get your money back by getting rid of it. But I don't bother anymore with that, just because the amount of space and cleaning the games and posting them and selling them and everything, I'm like over that. I'm just like, nah. And I have
Yeah,
most
I
of
go to the extreme, Joe. Like when I still do it. Like I'll buy a lot for one game because I'm a reseller, and if I can make profit on the rest of them, it's worth my time getting stock and an item for free, basically.
That's what I was doing too. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's crazy how many times I've done that. It's like I'll buy 100 PS2 games, keep 4, and sell the rest and things like that.
I used to do it when I could still get a lot out of those bundles, but if it's only 1 or 2 games out of 20, I don't really care anymore. I don't even put it on a watch list unless it's something I really, really want. But it's really, really rare that happens anymore.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
it depends on the games, so.
We were talking to Nicolo last week too. Like, I don't know about you guys, but like, I'm getting to the point too where, like, I have honestly most of what I want. Like, there's just like not a lot of stuff I'm looking for, and the stuff I am looking for, it's not going to be in the bundle. It's just not going to be. It's really rare at this point. And it's like it would be like finding a unicorn under a rainbow. You know what I'm saying? Like with a pot of gold or some shit. It's just not going to happen.
You're not going to find a bundle of only games you want anymore. That just doesn't happen.
No. No.
Unless you just start collecting, like, for a new console that you never collected for, then you can still do it.
True.
Yeah, that's true.
So
that's how you start collecting for the new consoles. It's like you bought a lot and there's 30 Wii U games in there. Well, I'm collecting for the Wii U now.
So, I don't know if you guys heard, speaking of collecting and having physical games, I heard there was some sort of issue yesterday with the digital world, some sort of digital problem, I've been told. Some people some people from the future who like cool stuff from, I heard they couldn't play their games. You hear about that?
So I read about this the other day, right? And I laughed. I'm like, suckers who own digital stuff. And then I sat down at like 9:00, ready to play, got a drink and got ready and sat down, and I finished Final Fantasy VII Rebirth like 2 days ago. I'll talk about that later. But I knew that there was this blackout with PSN, so I'm like, I'll be smart. I'll play a game that I've got physically that's already installed. So I grabbed Elden Ring because I'm going for the platinum on PS4. I've already done it on PS5. And I plugged it in, ready to play. You cannot play this game because you've got the DLC installed and your DLC is digital. Are you fucking serious? Like for Elden Ring, right? It's one of the best-selling games of all time. It doesn't have a physical DLC. The DLC is like a download code. But if you played that DLC, the game's literally unplayable yesterday. I'd like to play when I start again.
Even though you had the DLC installed, it still wanted to like handshake with PlayStation Network to let you play your digital copy. Seriously?
Yeah. We don't trust this guy's got the DLC.
But you can uninstall the DLC separately, I think. So you can get around it, but it sucks still.
Because my play file had played the DLC, and that's the file I wanted to play. I would have had to start the game again, and level 180, knocking out 5 trophies left to get the platinum. That wasn't the plan to start again. So I'm like, fuck it, I'll play FIFA. That's my game I just chill on. No, I can't play FIFA because it's the digital version. So yeah, that wasn't fun.
That's crazy. I mean, I honestly I didn't even notice. I had no issues. The games I was all playing were good. But yeah, that's just kind of funny. I hope that's just a taste. And like people. So there's a thing about physical versus digital that I find fascinating. Like most people I know that collect physical games, like they don't like want the digital option to not exist. But there's all these people who all are like into digital who are like, you old crazy dino, why buy disc, losers? It's gonna die. Just accept it. Get on board. Fuck you and your fucking hobby. Fucking die. I'm like, they're like, man,
Become a minimalist.
yeah, they're like, it's a waste of space, a waste of money. It's blah blah blah, all this stuff, and I'm just like, okay, all right, cool, man. I don't know. Like, I find it funny that you're gonna have these issues in the future when the internet goes down for whatever reason. So, yeah, I don't know. I just don't like the idea of things being gate kept in general like that. Like, I've never understood the appeal of the like ecosystems. Like, you have to join their ecosystem, and everything you do is approved and controlled by them. Like, you're not even allowed to talk poo-poo in the lobbies anymore, and they'll ban you from your accounts and stuff like that. It's like, I don't know, man. Like, the digital ecosystem sucks. And just totally sucks. I don't understand why people are so.
If your account gets banned and you've got games on there, do you lose all your games? Is that how it works?
I don't know. I've never been banned. I'm assuming you'd lose your trophies and all the progress you made and all that stuff.
But let's say you bought 100 games at $100 each because you're an idiot, and you get banned. Like genuinely asking people watching, like, does your account get banned? Because that's crazy to think like that could happen. Because I know friends that have gotten banned before, but they own their games.
There's probably something in the terms of service that says that if you like break the terms of service, you lose access to your account and everything you purchased on that account. They can probably get around it like that.
Ridiculous. Even if they temporarily ban you for stuff, I think that's insane. I don't feel like the idea that you pay for something and you don't own anything is just madness. And I think Steam works like that too. I'm pretty sure that if you get banned on Steam, you lose access to your Steam account.
Yeah, usually like a full-on Steam account ban, I think is pretty rare. But what they often do is like they trade lock you, so you can't like transfer stuff in and out of the account, but you can still like buy new stuff on the store, and you can still play all your stuff.
But yeah, it says here, I just looked it up. It says any digital games purchased on the PlayStation Network will be banned.
Yeah, man, I'm just not all right with that at all. Like, I just don't think that's those terms. I don't accept those terms. Sorry, like if that's literally the terms, then I'm just gonna. I don't know. I'm all set with that. I'm good. Like, at least
but
now,
not just looking at it from like a hack. I mean, from a ban point of view, like if you got hacked.
Mm-hmm.
And you're not tech savvy and you don't know how to like sort out the hack and contact something and do it all right, you could lose everything from a hack, like not even doing the wrong thing. Just ignorant people out there. Click this link. Okay, I've just lost my PlayStation account with all my games on it.
Yeah, I mean, I could see some kid that happened to a young kid and his mom just being like, what the fuck you want me to do about it? I'll make you a new account.
What about just people forgetting their passwords and shit? Like, I got a new phone number and I don't know my email, and like this. I worked at a pawn shop. There's people out there like this. They would come in and be like, "What's my password?" I'm like, I don't know. What's your date of birth? Let me try that.
Oh, dude! From doing my job, like one thing I've learned is that there's a percentage of society that are just vagrants that wander around and they have a new phone number and a new address every 6 months.
Yeah,
it's absolutely insane. You look it up and it's like they've changed their address like 7 times in 2 years. I'm like, what the heck's going on?
Like, I have something similar. Like, I work in accounting and I have people that change bank accounts like every 3 months. And I'm just wondering why would you ever do that? It seems so stupid.
I don't want that.
But I mean, the hassle of changing like your bank account and like changing your bank information on like all the sites and subscriptions you use and stuff.
Is it to like hide money from people? And like, I don't know.
I don't know. There's easier ways to do that. There's easier ways to do that. And if you're like just a legit business person or just a legit individual, why would you ever hide money from anyone?
Yeah, exactly. It's like promotions. Open an account now and get a $500 gift card. Oh, that's a great idea.
Maybe. Could be.
Let's go sit in the bank for 4 hours.
I mean, that's tempting. I get those offers all the time. It's funny, like as you like, if your credit gets good, like people like will just offer you shit all the time. They're just like, "Do you want a loan for $100,000?" I'm like, "No." Are you sure? They just send you stuff all the time. You want money? I'm like, "No, go away. What are you doing?" But if you don't have any money, that never happens. I'm assuming that if you don't,
it's the opposite. You owe money.
Yeah.
Yeah, luckily our credit system works the opposites. So if you are never in debt, like at all, like if you don't build up any credit at all, that's where that's like the best thing that can happen to you. Like that's your best chance to actually get a loan from a bank.
That's how it should be. That's
Yep.
how it should be. Yeah, that's not how it is here. Here you have to establish credit and go and do stuff with your credit and go into debt and pay it off and blah 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 and do this other stuff. And it's like honestly,
that is so silly. Like you get a credit card, you pay with the credit card, pay it off immediately, and that somehow makes you more credible to like pay back a loan, like for a house.
They just want to see that you can jump through a bunch of hoops first.
Yeah, probably.
Over here, if you have a bunch of credit cards and you decide you don't want them all and you close them, your score goes down. If you're like, I don't need this, it goes down. If you pay off loans in full and you have like less loans that you're paying on, your score can go down. So you can pay off your car loan and your score will decrease because you're not making those payments anymore.
No, you own everything now. That's not
you
good.
Actually paid all your debt. Loser.
We can't take that away from you anymore.
Yeah. Did you also know that credit scores like didn't exist until like the 80s? Did you know that?
No.
That's like that. Yeah.
I didn't even know credit scores existed until I talked to Americans.
Let me fact check. When did credit scores come out? First major credit card was in No, not credit card. No. What is credit scores? Not credit cards. I don't want to know about credit cards.
If they're a thing here, I don't know what mine is.
1989. 1989 is when credit scores started coming out. So before 1999, you could just go to the bank and get loans like a normal human being, and all that credit shit didn't exist. 1989. It's fucked up, man.
I mean, back then you still probably had to convince the person at the bank that you were credible and were able to pay back the loan.
Yeah, but back then it was like, oh, this house is $6,000 and I make $10,000 a year. They're like, okay. It's like it was like nothing back. Let's not talk about this. Anyway, let's talk about stuff that makes me less mad, like the stupid PlayStation Network going down. So I think it's hilarious because I want people to understand a lot of things about these ecosystems. Like who's in charge of things at the time makes a big difference if you're not noticing that now and about our society. Like the systems that we create and we decide to participate in are only good if the people running them are like on your side and are there for your benefit. But as soon as other people start to take stuff over, like it could change. So in 20 years, your PlayStation Network account that you've paid and you have now, let's talk about it. Let's talk about 20 years from now. How many games do you think you would own if you bought all your games digitally? You could have thousands of games. And in 20 years, people could just be even more crazy and weird than they are now. Let's just put it that way. Like, I think people are pretty crazy and weird right now. I don't know about the majority of how everybody feels, but I think there's a lot of people I look online and I'm like, wow, there are a lot of strange, odd people. And like a lot of them, like in single, like small groups, I'm not worried about, but in big groups, they're terrifying. So like in 20 years, the rules for PlayStation Network could be absurd. And you would have, you might have to be like, you have to put a PlayStation thumb identifier up your ass to play your games. Take it or lose it, bud. So I'm telling you, the rules, you have no power to, do you know what I don't know. That's an extreme example.
I hope that something happens in the next 10 or 20 years, and it'll probably be for the EU, where they push digital ownership to the point where everyone who buys a game on Nintendo, PlayStation, Xbox, Steam can resell that game, can trade that game, owns that property because they're paying for that. And I hope that this gets pushed through the courts, because these companies aren't going to do it. It has to be, EU going, PlayStation, if you want to sell in Europe, they have to be able to sell and trade their games. If you want to sell in America, you have to be able to sell, trade their games. And because they're doing it with Steam. Once it's done with Steam, it'll be 5-10 years. It'll be people screaming, why can't we do this? And then these old people who will start passing away, and younger people will get in their positions and be like, yes, we need to do this, because that's a bad thing. Like, once that happens, digital ownership won't be the worst thing in the world. Like, if you can sell your games, you play like a brand new game comes out, it's $70, right? It's digital, it's physical. Let's say it's digital. If you buy it, play it in a week, and you could sell it for $10 cheaper. It's so much easier in a digital marketplace to do that. People would love to be able to do what I do and buy and sell, but the average person doesn't want to go to the post office and doesn't know how to take photos and put it on eBay and doesn't want to do that because it's too much work. But if you could do that with a click of a button, people would love that. It's so convenient. Like, that would be a great system, but it's not like that, and it should be.
No, and it's not from the the business, the game maker's perspective. If you could buy a digital game for cheaper than the price that they're selling their new digital game, it would destroy their market in a way, because it would just be like, the only benefit would be, I guess, if you would have to, like, I don't know, maybe, so there would have to be some content that would be like not sellable. Like, they sell like a deluxe edition that comes with some extra stuff or something like that, and you're only allowed to like sell the base game or something, because there has to be a way for them to sell it at their full price. You know what I mean? Like, think about so what you're saying. I like your idea. I want to be able to do that. Like, I would think the digital sell things, but there's going to have to be rules. It would have to be like, you'd have to wait 30 days to sell your digital copy, or 60 days. You know what I'm saying? There would be like a time.
Yeah, but the gamers would get behind that and be like, this game will be cheap in 7 days. We just have to wait. Like, people will catch on, But it almost comes down to monopolies. Because you're not allowed to have monopolies on markets like that. And once the governments get hold of that, they'll be like, no, that's not how it works in the real world. The digital world is the real world. Make it work the same.
The difference with the digital world, though, is the reason that used games, like physical games, are generally cheaper than new games is because the customer, even though it's small, they do take a very small risk that the used item doesn't work or doesn't work as well. Doesn't just apply to games, applies to everything. And also, condition might be worse, whatever. But a digital item, it's always going to be exactly the same.
That's what I'm
like whether or not I buy a digital game used or new makes absolutely no difference. It's exactly the same. So
that's where the point I was trying to make is, like, there would have to be, like, if on day one it's $60 and then on day two I can buy a used copy for $50, it's the exact same thing. That would be an issue for the.
Yeah. Why would I ever buy a new one?
Exactly. So that's why, like,
unless I do want to pay
$60 version, they would have, like I'm saying, they would have to be like a timed thing or something. Like, it would have to be like, you're allowed to sell your game at full price in 90 days for 90 days. And then after that, the wheels are off and people can do whatever you want. And then they would have to match the price, which I like that better, because one of the things that also sucks about the all digital futures, like figs, like, there's no price control. If you go on the online stores, Forspoken's probably $60. You know what I'm saying? But you can find a copy of it for like $1 or $10 or whatever everywhere. But the digital store, it's probably way more. That's what I'm saying. So
I'll give you a solution. But what they could do, and if they implemented it, it would take a lot longer to implement what I talked about with the courts. They could buy back your games for credit. Say you buy a $60 game, Sony could buy it back and you get $45 PlayStation credit to buy something else, and then they'd class that as their tax or something like that. You can't play that game anymore, but then you can spend the money again on something else. Sony are going to get the sale again, blah, blah, blah. And the consumer gets to play a new game and sell their game that they're not playing.
You know who hates this idea? Every video game store.
I mean, GameStop is already dying anyway, so
I know. They're on their way out. There's no way they'll.
Yeah, over here they're closing like crazy. I think that probably nationwide there's probably only a couple hundred left, if that.
Yeah, I heard in Germany,
Italy, they're closing down,
right? Didn't they?
Yeah,
they're all closing.
They're closing so many stores. So many stores. Like almost every day I read something about like another GameStop is closing. There's one state, one of the smaller states to the west, in the country. That state only has one GameStop left. That entire state, and they are obviously phasing out as well. And I mean, for years, GameStop has mostly not been games, just merchandise anyway. So I don't really see how they even turn a profit. Like they're not really selling consoles, they're not selling games. They must be making most of their money with like plushies and Funko Pops.
Yeah, exactly. Is there really the problem with those items are they some of them are so big, you know, they take up so much shelf space. Like the good thing about video games is you can fit thousands on a small shelf. Suddenly, you know, you've gone from stocking 2,000 games to stocking 100 plushies and 50 t-shirts and some mugs. And look at those Monopoly boards over there; they're huge.
Yeah.
I think that their whole business model has been used stuff, and that's why they offer you $1 for your stuff, and then they resell it for way more, and then they tell you it's new online, and they sell you like a disc in a fucking half-eaten piece of Swiss cheese covered in duct tape, and they tell you, and that's a new game, and they send it to you. Like, dude, like every new game I get from them is opened, stickers all over it, scratched up fucking case. I'm like, oh.
I haven't bought a new game from them for probably like 6 years because I know how it works. Unless I'm in the store and I ask them, have you got any new copies at the back? And I get one because the employee walked out the back. You know, it's just not going to happen.
Yeah, I don't buy it. Like, I'm fine with buying used stuff from them, and especially in person. That's fine to go in and check it out. But I'm like, I never order anything new unless I have to. Like, if like that Thaumaturge game that I got, like it wasn't available on any other websites at the time. Like I couldn't get it on Amazon, Best Buy, nobody else had it, just GameStop. So I was like, all right. And sure enough, it came new, opened with a big.
If you pre-order, it's usually new though, because they'll order it in for you.
True. If you pre-order stuff as it comes out, like day one stuff, you're much more.
You get the new copy, which makes sense. And then, you know, a lot of them, like if they get one copy of a game, for example, it's the shelf copy, so they open that one copy. You know, suddenly there's no sealed copies left. Like, you know, so it works over here anyway. There's, you know, sometimes they'll be very hard to find a sealed copy of a game because every shop got one copy and they all opened. It's like 10 people in the country pre-ordered it, so 10 people have got sealed copies.
That used to be standard at retail here anyway. Like in the 90s and early 2000s, pretty much every retailer would open their video games and their movies here and put all the discs or cartridges or whatever. They would take it to a separate counter, and you would pay at the register for your game. Then you would take your receipt to that counter, and then they would give you the game.
That's how it
was just
happens here. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's like an anti-theft measure, and I can like sort of understand it because you don't just want people to like rip up the like the DVD case, take out the disc, smuggle it out.
Yeah, to us, some of them have value, but to the average, you know, thief, the case is worth nothing. Even if it's a rare game, that's the artwork of this rare game with the manual. You know, it's worth nothing to them. It's just the disc.
That's why you don't find like sealed, like PAL Super Nintendo games really, like, except for like a few, because that was just standard practice. Like a store would get the games, they'll open them, take them back to a game to a different counter. Like you couldn't even buy like sealed games, even back then.
In the retailer of Big W here, they have a drawer when like every Switch cartridge is in that drawer. You know, all the cases are on the shelf.
Yep.
Every single game is open. They don't have a single sealed one. It's like the only retailer here that you can get sealed games from like that is Amazon or like mum and pop shops that have turned into online retailers.
So at every Walmart, Target, and places, like most of those places, they would just have glass cases, and everything would just be in a glass case locked up, and they could keep all their brand new stuff sealed and sell it to you no problem, which I don't understand why GameStop can't do that. I'm like, why can't you just put the stuff in a case? Why do you have to?
It would be expensive to put glass cases in their shops.
Of course. Yeah, they're a business. They can pay for glass cases once.
and then, they're probably at the point now where it's just.
Well, now it's no point. Yeah, they're in their death throes, I'd say. But I don't know how much cash they got through that GameStop thing. They might be fine with for another 10 years. I have no idea, but.
I'll tell you why, Joe. Because GameStop's run at 1 or 2 employees, run it as, there'll be 10, 20 people in the shop, and you are serving, you're at the back, you're doing everything. I've heard of stories of employees just, awful time at GameStop. That's why, because, you can't be doing all that and opening up the counter, because you've got to stand there when the thing's open. You can't leave. That's why. These retailers like Target and Big W, Walmart can have employees stand there and watch the whole time and hold the games to the customer and make sure they don't steal them. That would be the reason why.
Yeah, what the way it would work here is like they would be a cashier in the area next to the games. So you didn't have to take the game and bring it up front and cash it out or whatever. It would just be like, if you want a game, there'd be like a cashier, and you tell them and they just come and open it and you go and buy it right there and then. Like you just take it out and go right to the register right next to it and buy it. It's not that bad. I don't know. I feel like there's other ways to do it. They could also, instead of opening their cases to use those actual if they want to use display cases, they could just buy a bunch of shitty plastic cases and just fucking have like a fucking little like tag they print out for the name of the game and use that. They don't need to use the actual cases for that. Like, and again,
I've seen that
cost
done.
money.
I've seen that done as well.
I mean, if you're going to make your business 1,000 times better, maybe you have to spend money. I don't know. That seems like the logical thing to me.
Yeah, I've seen the same thing, like where they would just put display cases on the shelves, and you would bring that to the to a separate counter, and then they would give you a new game, and then they would just collect the display cases, and at the end of the day, they would put the display cases back on the shelves.
Yeah,
that's what video game stores used to do with rentals. They'd have 20 copies of a movie, and then they'd have one display copy that you bring up to the counter, and they give you your movie and put the display copy back on the shelf.
The good old days. And then all that would be left is like the little marker that says like it was there. So when you showed up and it was gone, you'd be like, fuck. When am I gonna see Braveheart? I've been trying for weeks. I need to get this tape. Dude, I used to love renting stuff. The good old days. Back then.
Yeah, I worked at the supermarket next to the video shop, and I'd finish my shift and the video shop was open for an extra half an hour. So it's like, all right, I got time to pick a movie before I go home.
To counter argue my own argument, one thing I would say is that box art is important in like selling stuff and making you want to buy things and rent things. So if it were all just blank cases with like Sharpie on them, that would not be that appealing. You'd just be like Sonic.
Yeah, but GameStop's a big company. They can have, they already have the pre-order cases done up. So they could either just use those or have EA print out something for them,
That's what I would want.
EA too, they will, because they do it for pre-orders, so they can definitely do that.
Yeah, that's what.
And it costs them nothing. Like that plastic case and like the cover art in production, that's comes out to like a couple cents a piece, if that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then you don't even need to have multi. You could have one per game, for God's sakes. And then as soon as somebody brings it up, they go like, "I want 3 copies of this." Like, okay, grab 3 copies and give it to them, and put that one back. You don't need to even make. It's not like you need to do a 1-for-1 translation where like every copy needs a display. You don't even need to do that.
Yeah, but you probably want like multiple games.
You could have 1 per game per system. Like it can have 1 copy and it's Xbox, Switch, PS4, PS5. All of them, and it's on this game. Oh, sweet! You only have to put it on the shelf.
How much room you would have for more Funko Pops?
Yeah, you can fit all those Funko Pops in there. More T-shirts.
No. More coffee mugs. More freaking third-party controllers. Whatever the hell I'm trying to sell.
But then our games could be sealed. Yay!
I don't know. Obviously, it's a stickling point for me. I hate when I get new stuff that's not new. Drives me crazy. One time I got a game.
I swear, half of the new shit is pre-owned. If it's not pre-owned, okay. So this is a new game still to GameStop, right? If someone buys a game, plays it, fucking puts it on their coffee table and puts their pizza and drink on it, and then 9 days, not 10, 9 days later brings it back in and returns it. It goes back on the shelf as a new game. Doesn't matter what condition it's in. That's a thing. Yeah. If someone returns something, they sell it as new. Like that shouldn't be allowed, but it is. I bought brand new before, fucking disc only. like you know.
Yeah,
like it's a joke. Even with controllers and stuff, people will return broken ones and then it's sold as brand new. You know.
the one that broke my back as far as like like when I was like, I'm not buying from these people anymore, is I ordered a Switch game, and the game is like came in a big cardboard box, and then the game would come inside of it with the cart and then the manual or whatever. It was like a little, not like a collector's edition, but like a deluxe edition. You know what I mean? And I ordered it, and the way they sent me the outer cardboard box, and then I opened it up, and inside there was just a Switch cart in like a CD sleeve, and no manual. And that was my new game. They didn't even send me the Switch case with the artwork for the game to go in. It was just the outer box with the Switch cart in a sleeve. And
you know what's annoying with that is the case might have been on the shelf.
Bad.
The employee was just too lazy to go and look for it and just went and grabbed the cart and sent it out.
When I tried to return it, the girl behind the counter, I think it was a girl, I'm not even sure. Like I said, it's weird times. Was like, well, that sure is what we consider new condition. It doesn't. And I was like, I do not care what you consider new condition. Not interested. What I consider new condition matters. What you consider new condition doesn't. Give me my money back. And she's
like if you went to a food place and they gave you a half-eaten sandwich, you would be happier, right?
Just the fact that they were like trying to like talk me out of returning it or something. I was like, you're mad. I drove to your store to return it. You're crazy. This is happening. Give me my money. And then I ordered a brand new copy offline and got a brand new one sealed, you know.
Yeah, nice one.
Yeah, it's good stuff. Sorry, I don't mean to rag on GameStop, but they're good for buying used games. That's what they're good for, because then you can go in and see the condition and decide for yourself what you want to pay and what you don't want to pay. And you know, also if you're like have to sell all your collection in the next 5 minutes and you to afford like a couple cheeseburgers or something.
No, never sell your collection to GameStop.
People do, obviously.
They're never good for that. You make more money on Facebook or like anywhere.
The problem is, especially back in the day, people didn't even know there were other options. They just didn't know any other place but GameStop that would take used games.
Back in the day, if a new system came out, you'd go in and trade your old system in like 40 games for like one game, and like half off the console. So you'd trade in a PS2 and 40 games, and you'd walk out with like a credit towards half the cost of a PS3.
Yeah, but Joe, this is a $400 system and a $120 game, and you're getting the scratch protection and the PlayStation Network Plus, and the subscription to the magazine.
You think I could get the scratch protection on my balls if I asked really nice? You think they give it a little spray? Because I scratch them constantly. If anything needs it, it's them. So I'm just curious. Any GameStop employees out there can confirm how much would I have to pay? Is it even a spray? What the fuck is scratch protect? It's just in case your shit gets scratched. It's like insurance, right? It's not like an undercoating on your car or something like, right? Rust protection. Never mind.
Should put that out to the limits and like purposely scratch a game and see what they do. Actually test the policy out.
You just write like a swear in it. I don't know what happened. Says fucking like asshole written in it. Can I get a new one? Anyway, yeah, that stuff's annoying. That's another thing.
It just snapped in half. I've got scratch protection. New one, please.
I feel like video games are just going to be. There'll be some exclusive boutique stores that stay open, like Limited Run can have a store, VGP can have a store, and Video Games New York. There might be some stores, whatever, that exist. But for the most part, 99% of video game purchasing will just be online from companies. It'll just be limited.
Well, your video games will become a section in op shops and pawn shops, and like it already is. But once these other shops stop, they'll just have a bigger section. That's how it'll be. Where do you go to get books these days? So many bookshops around, but if you go to an op shop, you're going to find books. DVDs, perfect example. Like, where do you get DVDs from? Op shops.
True. Yep. So one thing that is kind of encouraging about the physical people who out there collecting is I did see some articles pop up that there's like a trend of people moving back towards Blu-rays and DVDs and 4Ks and stuff like that, who are like dipping out of streaming, and that's what I've been doing. So I'm glad to see that's a trend that some people are at least appreciating, that you can get physical game movies as well, and you don't need streaming.
I think
situations
that's more.
like what happened yesterday will get people to be like, oh, I got to remember when I buy that new game to buy the physical, because then I can play it if something happens. And, they'll subconsciously start trying to buy more physical over the digital, because it's an easier option doesn't mean it's better in the long run. And people will know that it's better to buy physical. They might keep doing the digital route, but at least people are subconsciously no, this is definitely the better option. If it works, I can resell it, blah, blah, blah.
I don't think that's necessarily the thinking with the movies and the shows. I think it's more frustration with the pricing policies, because I think Disney Plus, Netflix, all of those have raised their prices multiple times in the last few years. And I think Disney Plus and Netflix are also adding ads now to your paid subscription. And I think people are just fed up with that stuff, because why would I even pay anymore?
Yeah, I'm not going back to ads. That's ads are gone from my life. It's not happening.
Yeah,
I pay for the.
Ads will always be around, because guess how these companies make their money? It's not from other consumers; it's from the ad companies.
I usually will pay to not have ads. I'm one of those people.
I'm the same. Yeah,
I'm good. But I don't need I think I've talked about this on Disney Plus especially. They don't have enough content at all to justify an ongoing fee for me. I'm going to be paying for this forever. I don't think so. They just don't have enough stuff. So I just went out and I bought all the stuff I like from Disney. It was 20 to 30 movies total. And that's it. I never need Disney Plus again. And the odds of them coming out with something that I just got to see are slim. And if I do, I'll just pay for 1 month and then I'll cancel it, which is what I think a lot of people are doing now.
They just came out with a show called Paradise, I think, that I was actually interested in, but it's still not enough to make me subscribe even for just a month.
Yeah. So what I want to do is we usually will subscribe to 1 or 2 things at a time, except for we always have Amazon because I got Amazon Prime. So
yeah, same.
That's just included. But we'll usually sub to 1 or 2 things at a time, and then not the rest. And we'll let content build up per se. And then when we hear there's 2 or 3 shows or 2 or 3 seasons of shows that we watched a year ago, new seasons have come out, we'll sub and watch everything we want to watch and just unsub again. There's no the just paying every month forever sucks. It's stupid, and you don't own it. It's I just can't stand it. I'd rather spend more on a DVD and have it forever. I just would. Yeah. And I also like physical things. I enjoy things. I'm buying a lot of movies that I watched when I was a kid, the VHS. So that's the same thing I was doing with my games. I remember playing these games. I want to get the games I used to play all the time when I was a kid. Same thing with I was I just got Troll and Troll 2, those movies, and I used to have Troll 1 on VHS, and I watched it 1,000 times, and I love that movie. And it's so funny. Everybody knows Troll 2 because that's the one that's famous for being terrible. It's one of the worst movies ever made. If you've never seen it, it is laughably bad.
It has a very famous meme short clip of that kid with the glasses going, "Oh my god,
oh my god." Yeah, I'd love to spoil the ending because of how ridiculous it is, but I won't. I'll lay if you guys ever see it. The way he wins is so stupid. It's such a ridiculous movie. It has nothing to do with the first movie either at all. No connection, whatever. So I was actually one of the only people. I remember when I was a kid, I liked Troll 1. I loved that movie. I watched it 1,000 times. It's a decent movie. It's not great. It's got a Atreyu in it from Neverending Story though. So there's something for you. But it's at least I would say it stands up as an actual movie as opposed. And so so Troll 2, I was so I'm so old. I was alive when it came out. When it was actually released and it was available to rent, and I saw it in the place, and I was like, oh yes, Troll 2 is gonna be fucking sweet. And then we watched it, we were like, what is this? It was nothing to do with the first movie. It's just complete insanity from start to finish. It's totally terrible. And I was actually like bummed. I was like, what the fuck, man? I wanted to see like a good Troll 2. Like, damn it. But anyway, yeah, I've been doing that more lately, buying those old DVDs and like having the artwork and seeing the things. It's just, God, dude, the nostalgia is insane. Like having the actual item is just different. I don't know, hits different.
Yeah, I still have some DVDs from back in the day that still have never been released on Blu-ray or 4K or on any streaming services. And
They can be really expensive.
yeah, like for example, I have the Drawn Together like complete series on DVD. That was never released anywhere else. I think it may have been on some streaming platform at some point, but that like box set is like 150 or something now.
Yeah,
And
old TV shows on DVD.
Is it more than just season 1?
yeah, it's the complete series.
Is it just the complete series, season 1?
No, I think it's 3 seasons. I think it's like 40
Okay.
episodes
I
or
had the
something.
complete series, season 1. I just sold it recently.
Mm.
It had like cool fold out artwork and like she's in the hot tub and you can open it up and see in the DVD. It's pretty cool.
Our release is not quite as elaborate. It may also be cheaper in other countries because, you know, every country has a different different release because every country has a different rating system as well. So they all need different boxes. And people
I still love
also
that.
like, especially here, like people appreciate the German dub also because that's how everyone watched it back in the day. And a lot of the jokes are just completely rewritten to be like more in line with German culture as well, which is really funny.
Yeah, when it becomes like that, like your market becomes completely different. Like, you know, it could be a $5 DVD in the UK or $200 in Italy because it got a small print run and, you know, thousands of people want to watch it, or, you know, cheap in this country, cheap in that country, but this version is expensive.
Yeah,
Unless
I
it's
remember
like
when
language.
Stargate, the original movie, came out on Blu-ray and it was immediately sold out, and they never did another print run. And like the German release was like 35 or 40 euros for years. It actually might still be, but I think the British one is like $5.
It's crazy. Yeah.
It's really.
Well,
really
DVDs
stupid.
are like, weren't they like? Well, I don't know the difference in the regions, but they're all region locked. Like, I'm pretty sure, right?
Some, yeah, I think
It
in Europe it's
depends.
still. I think Europe is still like all the same region. I don't think there's any differences
Yeah.
there, but there's definitely more region locking going on with DVDs. Even more than games as well. I think there's like 6 or 7 different regions for movies.
And then you got like Asia, which just has fake stuff.
Oh yeah.
You remember those like the Bali movies, which would just be like one piece of paper with the DVD inside? The movie wouldn't have anything to do with what's on the front.
Yeah, because they would just rip artwork from actual movies and then just put a completely different movie on in there.
Yeah.
I would see
bought
them at
hundreds
flea
of them.
markets when I was a kid occasionally, but obviously not at actual stores.
I'll show them on the podcast one day because I've still got, like, because of what they were when I was a kid. I just put them all in like a folder sleeve and threw all the artwork out because it was just single pieces of paper. You know, it wasn't cases or anything. So I've just got all these like rip-off DVDs I'm never gonna watch of random movies.
And you can't sell them either because, you know, they're just gonna
Yeah,
be
you
taken
can't sell them.
off eBay.
You'd probably sell them on Facebook or something, but like everyone knows what they are. Oh, they're just Bali movies. They're worth nothing.
I mean, at some point you probably can sell them openly because they are considered like of cultural value or something.
Yeah, exactly. They still work, you know.
So back to what you're saying about things like on DVD specifically that have no Blu-ray release, no 4K release. If you can get to trifecta where there's no Blu-ray, no 4K, and it's not on streaming, you're going to have something that's probably worth a lot of money. That seems to be the trend that I've noticed. There are certain things that are just like the only way you can get it is on DVD. Like it's not streaming anywhere. There's no other releases. And yeah, I don't know. I just think it's a positive trend that people seem to care a little bit more about the physical stuff and are realizing that the streaming stuff is not that great because sometimes it sucks if you do have that weird spur moment. You're like, I want to watch fucking The Mighty Boosh. You have to find where the hell that is, like, and you might have to sub to this thing and pay this and that to do it, and you end up paying all this money, and it's not worth it. It's annoying. Like, I don't want to have to sub and get my, I just don't want to have to do that to watch one thing that I feel like watching.
What streaming service is this movie on?
Correct. Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm doing every time? I'm making a new email and I'm signing up for a trial account.
Might as well.
Single time. Yeah. I'm like, they offering it to me, I'm taking it.
I think one I really noticed is especially like 90s and early 2000s Jackie Chan movies are often not available on Blu-ray, and also not on streaming services, because they're always owned by some company in Hong Kong or some small studio in the US, and they just don't bother putting any more releases out there, so they're just available on DVD and nothing else.
Yeah,
because Jackie Chan did like 2 movies every single year for like 20 years or
dude.
something during that period. So
he has a lot of movies. Yeah, back in the 90s, you could get them all on VHS and stuff like that. So
yep.
But yeah, I just again, I can't harp enough that anytime this event, something like this happens, and you clearly see how shitty the digital fucking marketplace is going to be, I don't know, just it makes me feel good on the inside. Makes people like, I feel like every single person who collects physical media was just like fucking yesterday, like the whole day. And I know you can play some digital content offline. It is possible to do so. If you download it and you have that, there's like a feature. That's another thing on your PlayStation 5. They have like a feature you have to turn on and off to play offline. I don't know if you know that. There's like a share. It's called like share content and play offline or something. I don't remember the name of it. There's an actual.
I probably could have done that and played Elden Ring because I was playing offline anyway.
But here's the thing: you have to have an internet connection to turn that on.
Yeah.
So anytime the network's down, and if you don't have that on, you cannot turn it on and fix it. You can only turn it on when the network's up. So if you do it ahead of time and you have it turned on, you might be okay. But if you like don't have your PlayStation set, I don't know, if you don't have it set up as your primary PlayStation, like I have like 2 PS5s and 3 PS4s, and I have tons of shit. Sometimes I think the way I solve it is I like made mine have my main account, and I made my girlfriend the main account on the other one, so that there's a main account on each and whatever. So no matter what, it should work for us. But like, it's just, I remember there was one time that I was having that issue. Like I couldn't play my own games offline because I didn't have that selected on one of my PS5s. I was so fucking mad. I was like, what do you mean? I have to tell you to let me play offline. What an absurd button. Why would I have to click this? And under any circumstances, should I be like, do you want to play your games offline, or do you want to not be able to play offline? Why?
I don't get why they took away the whole like make you have a main console, because I used to have my PS3. It still is like it's got my account logged in and there's no issues. But you can't have a PS4 and a PS5 with your account logged in without it like freaking out. Is it just because you can't do much on the PS3?
I don't know. It's annoying. It's literally just annoying. But, to be fair, back in the day, there were things that were annoying too. So people are like, PS2 didn't have that problem. I'm like, yeah, but you had fucking memory cards and goddamn wire.
Yeah, I mean, I'll swap.
And you had
I'll swap every issue we used to. I won't swap every issue we've got, because we used to have long loading times and we don't have that anymore. So
true.
There's pluses and minuses in each column. But at least with the PS2, you could play the damn thing. So I think that's a huge plus in the plus column. Not being able to play your PlayStation.
Going back, Joe, playing some games, and you're like, this was the best game. Why didn't I love it? Why didn't I finish it? And you load the first level, and it's like 4 minutes, and you still haven't loaded in. And you're like, this is why I didn't play this shit.
Mm-hmm.
And just like Grand Theft Autos, how long did it take to load the old
Grand Theft Auto on console was, that was an experience.
Like Gran Turismo or like any game, man, in that era. Like PS2 on the HD hard drive was so bad for some games.
I think Killzone also had like a minute or two loading between each section of the game.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like today, with today's attention span, kids wouldn't be able to do it.
Well, you also
They'll
have
be like, oh, what was I doing? I forgot. Oh, the PlayStation's on. Oh, yeah, that's right. Where were we up to? I forgot. I just watched an hour of TikTok.
half the kids couldn't play the games because you have to read. Let's just be honest.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna do some bitching. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So I mentioned before I just finished Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I
Mhm.
played it on the hardest difficulty you could when you started the game. So hard mode's like unlocked after the game. So it's regular normal mode or whatever it is. Anyway, every single fucking time that there's a puzzle or you got to think about it, the game zooms into it and tells you, man, you can climb up this ladder. You can use this. You can do this. What happened to letting me work that out? Like, haven't you seen my playstyle? I've looked at every fucking corner in the whole fucking map. You don't have to tell me that there's a ladder there. I'm gonna find the ladder. Like, why is it like this? Like, I was watching a review the other day, and he was reviewing Kingdom Hearts,
Mhm.
and he's like, there were points in it where I'd spend 20 minutes trying to work out what to do, and it was just press X on this door, and I loved it because the game didn't fucking hold my hand and do everything. Like the God of War syndrome, he called it, where God of War son's like telling him what to do the whole game. Soon I watched that video as I'm playing through the game, and then I'm like, just let me do it. Like, it's already a linear story. Like, I love the game. Don't get me wrong, but I didn't have to think about it. It wasn't challenging at all. I know I can go back and play it in hard difficulty, but I don't replay games. I don't want to put another 100 hours into this RPG. You know, like I can see why I love Dark Souls games. To me, Final Fantasy audience are adults. They're not fucking 10-year-old kids playing this game. Like the average age of people playing Final Fantasy Rebirth would be above 20, right? At least. You know, it's people who played it and they're playing it again. Like, we don't have to. You can jump with X. You can do this. Even boss fights. Like, you're fighting the final boss. I'm trying not to say any spoilers. You're fighting bosses and they'll call out a body part to hit because it's the weakness. Like,
yeah, you should be able to defer that from the way the character looks. Usually they would give you visual cues, like in an old game, it would be like it would glow or shine or sparkle, or it would be exposed all of a sudden, like it'd be closed for 4 turns, and then all of a sudden it would be open, and you're like, well, that's a special spot, obviously. So you should be able to infer that, but instead they're just telling you. So that's like a huge, so they're trying to appeal to gaming to the biggest market possible, not just to people who play games. So people like you and me are like who like to figure stuff. We like games. We like figuring stuff out. We don't mind thinking. We like puzzles. We enjoy that sort of thing. There's obviously a huge part of the population that do not have that ability. And so in order to get them to be able to have fun and experience it, they add that shit. And what it should just be an option at the beginning of the game that you can turn on or turn off. But if you do that, it'll probably make people feel bad. But you start to call it game assist, whatever you want to call it. Do you want tutorial tips?
Help with puzzles, like
any game that's like, do you want the tutorial tips to play while you're playing? No, I always turn that shit off. No, I don't want to know. I'll figure it out. And if I literally am struggling and I can't win and I don't know what I'm doing, maybe I'll turn that shit on if I need it. Let's put it that way. Like if I can't figure it out, then maybe I would use it for a second. But most times you just play the game and you figure it out. And
what was annoying me the most was it wasn't even giving you a chance to like get lost and work it out. Like you would start doing something and it would tell you instantly, like, you can climb up this wall. Oh, I would have figured that out. And maybe if I was still 10 minutes still figuring it out, I would have wanted help. But like now I'm
like, as much as I hate some of the puzzles in the Uncharted games, but what I really like about them, if you are like stuck on a puzzle and you have like Chloe with you or whatever, after a minute or two, she will like drop a subtle hint, like a voice line. Like, oh, try XYZ. Or
But
this
it's after
looks
you
interesting.
failed 3 or 4
Yeah.
times. How it should be. I went back and okay, so after my FIFA blah blah blah, I put on Spyro the Dragon, number 2, Gateway to Glimmer. And I got stuck in a section for like 15 minutes. And I was like, ooh. I worked it out. And I'm like, how the fuck did I do this as like a 7-year-old kid? Like, how did I do that? But that was a game for 8-year-old kids. Like, that's their target audience. And that was released and it was critically acclaimed and people loved it. I just played a game rated M that was pretty full on,
Whose target audience, let's be honest, is like 30 to 40 to 50, maybe even older. And like they're holding our hands like we're going to the park,
Yeah, it's a complaint for
Like, I
all.
love the game, don't get me wrong. Like, the story was amazing. One of the best stories I've had, but like the boss fights weren't challenging, it was just
this boss has got a bigger health bar than the last boss.
You guys should try out Trackmania. Trackmania doesn't even have a tutorial at all. Like they are just like you load into the game. Here's the tracks. Have fun. They don't explain how anything works. Like you just have
Gia
to
gets us in
figure
a game
everything
like
out
that,
yourself.
where
Yeah.
it's a skill like that. I watch. There's a lot of GeoGuessr streamers that play Trackmania as well, so I watch them as well. But I don't think I'll put the time to learn it.
Trackmania is intense.
Yeah, it takes a while to learn. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, to get good.
But
at it.
I appreciate GeoGuessr for that fact. It's real skill. Like I'm winning these games because I'm learning and like no one's holding my hand. I learned this. And I learned that.
That's a rare. You guys don't understand. Like that's a rare feature with the. When you try to appeal to as many people as possible, you can't appeal to a smallest minority possible. You can't. It's just not good business. So they have to like make it so any like people who have never their theory is they don't want to have anyone have to have like predetermined skill or experience with other games to play their game. They want every game that comes out to be like, if you've never played a game before, could you sit down and play this and have fun and beat it? That's their thought process. Like literally, it's the first game you've ever played.
Software, I like that. I love that from Software.
So that's why you get like some games. Literally, they're like, use the left stick to move. Like, oh, really? Thanks. I never would have figured that out. Like,
and you can't progress until you've done a full 360.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, hit jump on this box. Now jump on this box. Double jump to get on the bigger box. I'm like, I would have figured this out in 5 seconds. All you would have to do
1 hour later, you finished level 1
and trophies.
Yeah, so if you have like predetermined skill in video games, this stuff is like needles in your eyeballs because it's just like so stupid. But their thought process is that like you buy this game for your kid, and it's the first game they've ever played, and they want to play it with daddy, so they they literally like they want it for every game. So it's one of those things where it's fine. It just should be optional, and you should be able to tailor your experience. Like you should just be like, do you want tutorials? Do you want to do this? And most games do that. They say, do you want to do that? Do you want to do tutorial? I say, nope. Let me play. But some games, the ones that drive me crazy, it's like you said, the first 20 minutes of the game are involuntary tutorial. Like I have to sit
level
there
1 in the game,
and I can't skip this. Like I have to do this stupid thing that it's just like, oh man, you kidding me? Like why?
And it's paced in with story, so you can't speed it up. And I love the R2 feature in the game, how you could speed up cutscenes. Once I realized that I didn't skip a single cutscene, but I didn't watch a single cutscene at 1 speed. It was all done at 1.5.
Stop Infernal Fox. Yeah, I skipped through most of the story. I'm pretty guilty of that. Depends on the game.
I really love the story. Like, I prior to the last few years, I was never really a story person, but like I sat through the whole story of Red Dead Redemption 2, and like I had tears in my eyes at the end of that game. I sat through every cutscene in Final Fantasy. I wasn't as emotional. I also was spoiled on the ending because I've watched YouTube videos and I knew what was going to happen 15 years ago, and I never played the original. I'm not going to say it, obviously. so everyone watching knows what's going to happen too. But I don't know the ending for the third part next 3 years, so that'll be interesting.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
I knew everything was going to happen in this game because of one scene.
I'm very much a non-skip guy. Like I never really skip tutorials, even if I have a good idea of what the controls are. I usually still do the tutorial because it's usually really short. And cutscenes I never skip unless it's my second or third time playing through. And
So you're a
just don't
patient
care about it
person, is
anymore.
what you are. You have
Yeah.
this thing called patience. I don't have that at all. None. I'm like, let's go. I want to blow stuff up. Let's go. Come on. I like old FPS games like Doom and shit. They're like, all right, ready, go. Blow everything up. That's the whole thing. There's no story. There's no nothing. They're like, you land on the planet, kill the demons. Okay, let's go.
I think there's a few factors that contribute to this. Because when I was like, I've been playing games my whole life, obviously, but when I think of games that I put in hardcore time, I think when I first started buying games and was working full time, and when I was doing that, I didn't have much time to play because you get home, you got to cook dinner, you do this. Suddenly, you got to wake up in like 9 hours. You got 2-3 hours of gaming. I don't want to sit through 10 cutscenes when I can only play for 3 hours. But now I'm sitting out there for like a 6-hour gaming session. And I'm like, I'm going to chill for 6 hours, put the controller down for a bit. I'm like, oh, it's a big cutscene. I'm going to make some food and get ready for this cutscene and doing things like that. Like,
so if I'm playing like an RPG, I want to know the story. But my problem is that I think a lot of the times, like the voice acting is just too slow. Like I'm used to reading. Like I grew up reading all the time. Like video games taught me how to read because I used to play old and Nintendo. There was all just reading. There was no voice acting all the time. And the faster you read, the faster you can get to the story. So I just be reading next. And so I would see the story, but quickly because I could read fast. And now when you watch a cutscenes, it's like if the text is on the screen, I'm just reading it and going, yep. I'm cutting all the voice acting off. So I don't skip it like the whole scene. I'm not like just fuck that. I will just like skip through all. So it's when you're in the room, you just say, well, I'm gonna. You can hear them starting to talk, and I'm like, shut the fuck up. I can read faster than you can talk. And like I don't know, like I
do a lot of the same, Joe.
I
feel like sometimes I might miss a little bit because I skip through it a little bit too fast. But most of the time, like if it's got subtitles, I'm reading it, and I've skipped it before they've even said the first word.
I don't need voice acting in games. I really don't. I don't care. If like it's so funny when like people are like, this is a famous voice actor. I couldn't tell you the name of a single voice actor in anything. The only ones I could ever tell you are like The Simpsons because I cared when I was 10. But like I don't.
Did you play through Red Dead Redemption 2?
What's that?
Did you play through Red Dead Redemption 2?
No, I haven't played that yet.
All right. That was the first game where I looked up the main character's voice acting just to watch him because I was that amazed by how good the main character was. And then I started looking up, never done this before, I looked up lists of like best video game protagonists of all time. Every single list had him at number one. It wasn't like even close. Every list I looked at had Arthur Morgan, best protagonist in video games, full stop. So if you do play that game, just appreciate how amazing he did a job of, voice acting this character. It's insane.
I've never heard anybody say anything bad about that game, so I should definitely try it.
You got to give it a go. And it's a game that I put 70 hours into it, and I'm really tempted to put it back in my PlayStation and put another 100 hours into it.
Damn.
Like I finished Final Fantasy VII yesterday. I'm not playing that again. Like I didn't 100% it. It was great, but like I really want to play Red Dead again. I could do the story again. I could, it was like it got me really excited for the new Grand Theft Auto, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, I need to finish Fantasian. I'm like at the end, but it's kind of a slog. Like it's like the end of the game. It's kind of a bitch. So I took a little break from it, and I need to go back and finish it. I did finish. I played that game Wild Bastards. I think I showed it off. like a week or two ago or something like that. I played through that and beat that yesterday. That's pretty fun. You play Void Bastards? Did you guys know that game? Void Bastards, the first one?
You were talking about it last week, yeah.
Yeah, so it's the same company. It's like it's not really a sequel, but it's like another game from that same company, and it was fun. It's a weird though. It's like a weird game, man. Like it's like it's an overall it's like an FPS game, like you do first person shooting, but you like travel through space on like a board, and when you travel to each planet, it's like a board game. Like it's the only way I can describe it. There's like little paths and tracks, and you have to move your characters around on the board and choose like where you want to fight and which of your characters is like you got to fight which boss or whatever. And then after a certain amount of turns, like a really powerful enemy beams down and chases you around the map, and you can either fight him or you can try to like escape off the planet, basically. And each like fight is like a FPS thing. It's really weird. I don't know. I'm having a hard time explaining it because it's such a unique gameplay loop. But if you want to play something different like that, I would suggest either of those games, Void Bastards or Wild Bastards. They're both cool, and they're short. You know, they're not going to take you like a.
Pretty sure I got Void Bastards. I should give it a go.
Yeah,
I was going to say before when you mentioned you put down Fantasia for a bit. I've got a bad problem of once I put a game down, I really struggle to pick it up again.
Oh yeah,
and replay it, which is going to lead to this pile of games here. So the other night I went through my collection and I'm going, you know what? Because I finished Red Dead, I picked up a couple of games and I've been playing them again. I'm making 2025 the year where I finish games that I started, and I'm going to either attempt to play them again, give them a second shot, and if I haven't finished, I'm deleting them, putting them away, never thinking about them again. But I'm giving all these games a second chance.
Do you want to get into some pickups and show off some stuff?
Yeah, I'll show these off while I'm talking about them. I haven't got any pickups, so this is my pile of pickups, games I'm playing this year. So the first one, so I platinum Spyro 3 years ago. December, I platinum Spyro 1. I always said I'm going to go back and platinum all three of these games because they're three of my childhood like favorite games. Absolutely love them. I don't usually go for platinum trophies, but they're fun in these games. Like I have really fun going for them. And I'm currently playing through Spyro 2 Gateway for Glimmer at the moment. I'm like halfway through it, like having a blast. I'm beating the game completely, and then once I do everything I can, I'm then looking up guides to get the rest of the trophies. So that'll be like 15, 20 hours, a lot of fun.
Did you guys get like all three games on disc in Australia?
Yeah. This copy, no, because this is the pre-ordered version with the steelbook and everything. But then it got re-released. So
Yeah, there's like two versions of it.
The second or third one, yeah.
It got like a later reprint, and they actually put the third game on it. So
Bought Astro Bot, $64. Pretty good price. Played it for like 10 hours. Haven't finished it. I want to finish this. I think I'll sell it and then rebuy it in like 4 or 5 years when it's cheap. I don't love it, and I'll probably be able to get like $100 for it. So to me, I'd rather like put that money into a JRPG that is going to hold its value. Even though I do think this is definitely like going to be a game that people will be like, play it. I just know that it's got Game of the Year. They're going to print out a lot of these copies. It's not going to be hard to find.
True.
Next
I haven't
one.
played it yet.
Haven't finished Crash Bandicoot 4. I barely even touched it. I've completed the first 3. I don't know why. I just sort of never played it. I don't know
Same
why.
here. I bought it and I was like, I'll definitely play that. And I haven't.
Yeah, never played it.
I should put that on my list. This is a good idea. Oh, I like this.
And I'm putting them in front of the TV. So every time I'm playing my PlayStation, I can see these games. They're looking at me saying, play me.
Smart.
And then you can put me away.
Well, this next one, you must play if you have not.
I've been saying I'm going to play this for years. Haven't touched it. I'm playing Returnal this year.
That was one of the biggest reasons I wanted a PS5 was to play that game.
It was one of the first games that I spent like $36 on it. You could probably buy it for this price now, and I'm like, I got it for a deal at the time.
the tower thing. There's like when you beat the main game, you unlock this tower that you can just like go and play for, like go as many levels as you can. It is so.
It's like
fun,
a roguelike.
dude. It's like a
at the
survival
end, yeah.
mode. Like just see how long you can go and like how many
Yeah,
levels you
that'd
can
be
beat
fun.
and how for. It's so fun, bro. Like, I love stuff like that.
Now, so next is like a genre I really enjoy. So it's the Hitman and the Sniper Elite games. I kind of group them in sniper games where it's like stealthy missions, but you can go in hardcore. I really enjoy that type of stuff, like killing all the guards and, you know, doing that. I love that type of stuff. I don't replay them. I don't try and get all the collectibles. I just like playing through them once. But I've never played Hitman 2. I played the first one, the third one. Don't know why, so I'll play for Hitman 2. I love all these games, so I don't know why I never played this one. And also there's a new Sniper Elite. I haven't heard good things about it. I'm going to wait for a price drop, pick it up, play it for like a week, sell it, and then rebuy it in like 5 years cheap for my collection. That's the plan. Next one I'm playing because Joe said it was really good, and me and Joe got a very similar taste when it comes to this type of game, and that is 2 Point Campus.
That's a fun one.
Kind of like a city building strategy type game in a campus. It looks like a lot of fun. I'm sure I'll put in like 100 hours into this thing.
It's fun. It's funny too. Yeah, it's different. It's like a sim game. Yeah,
I love those type of games. I'd probably prefer it on the computer, but I'm not going to rebuy it again unless it's like $1.
I would play it on the PS5 or PC. We played it originally on the Switch, and it like melted the Switch. It cannot, like, once you get a campus that's like huge with thousands of things going on, the Switch is just like, fuck me, no. It was dying like 10 frames per second. It was no good.
So a few months ago, I tried this. I played it for an hour. I didn't like it. I'm going to give it a second chance and try it again. And that's Final Fantasy 16. The back of like really enjoying Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth. Like I just have its complaints. But the story and the enjoyment I got out of it makes up for that. Like some of the mini games were great fun. Some of them weren't, but like it was a lot of fun. Like I enjoyed all the piano stuff. Like that was really fun. You know, I was enjoying that type of stuff. So I'm gonna give 16 a real shot, couple of hours, see if I get into it.
Very different.
Yeah, I know. But I've watched gameplay. It looked good. You know, looked
16
forward to using the wolf and.
I did it the exact opposite. I played 16 right before I played Rebirth.
See, I wouldn't have been able to do that because I would have been too excited to play the other one. I'm glad I did it the other way.
The graphics
next
in
is
16 are insane.
another JRPG. So they were kind of been in order, the games of like, puzzle games. We're going into JRPGs now, and then we'll get into action RPGs. But here we have Sea of Stars. Heard really good things about this. I want to give it a go. That looks great. I think there's DLC for it that's not on this version, but I'll just give it a go with this one here. There's one game that's not in the pile, but I'm getting it soon. It is it's Wu. Is it Wukong? It's not Black Myth Wukong. It's the other Wukong game. No, I can't remember. It's a Souls-like game that's similar.
Yeah,
to
I know what
Wukong.
you're talking about, like Wu Kang or something.
Yeah, something like that. I'll get the name for it later. Anyway.
Oh, Wu Chang Fallen Feathers? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah,
Wu-Tang?
that's it.
Yeah,
Wu Chan or something. Anyway, I found a copy
yeah.
online. There was one copy in the whole country, and it was in Townsville. So I messaged Andy, and I got Andy to pick it up for me. It was $5. I'm like, this is a bargain, and it was the PS5 copy. And he went and picked it up, right? And it was a PS4 case and a PS5 disc. And he's like, you don't want this, right? I'm like, yeah, I still do because I just want to play it. So I'm going to play through it. And yeah, it hasn't arrived yet, but that'll be a bunch of fun.
Wolong Finding Fallen Dynasty. Is that the
Wulong Fallen Dynasty, that's it.
That's
I've
the one.
read mixed reviews about it. It's not Dark Souls level, but it's better than the average like Souls ripoff game. And I'm a big fan of the genre. Next, you're going to really see that rest of that. So Elden Ring, I've platinumed Elden Ring on PS5. I was redoing it on PS4. I've got like 6 trophies to go, so I'm doing that. And I just want to like 100% the DLC as well, so that's in my pile. And I'm doing that right now, like I was doing it tonight. I've got like 3 trophies to go in Demon Souls on PS5, so I'm gonna
No.
platinum there.
That's the one I need to go back to and start all over again.
I'm
told you
tempted to restart because I haven't played this since I got my PS5 5 years ago. So I'm tempted to actually restart the game, do it again. I've literally got 2 trophies left, and I got the hardest trophies. I'm just missing like enchantments and one of the endings or something, so I can play towards that and only do it in one playthrough. Next, I've given. Okay, so this is the Neo collection. I pre-ordered Neo, took a week off work, and got the platinum trophy in like 7 days. I was like the 60th person in the world to get the platinum trophy for that game.
Jeez.
I've tried to play Neo 2 like twice, 3 times, and I just haven't liked it. I'm going to give it another shot. I'm going to give it a few hours, give it a shot, try and get into that game. Like, I loved the first one. It was like one of my favorite games. I just can't get into the second one, but I'm going to give it another shot. This collection is also really cool too. You know, you got double discs, like 2 great games. It's pretty cheap too. I picked this up to play last year. Never played it. Lords of the Fallen. I played the original Lords of the Fallen, which people said is crap, and I had fun. And this is meant to be really good, so I'm going to give it this one a go.
Is that actually a different game?
It's the same game, but they remade it. So like they took out parts, put in other parts, did things like that. But I'll be able to talk more on it. Like, it looks completely different. And the final one is Sekiro Shadows Die Twice. I played through this, almost did everything, but I never got the platinum trophy, so I'm going to finish it off. Yeah, I'm just forcing myself to finish these games, like, you know, that I put away for a couple of days, and I'll take a break and then I'll come back to it, and I just never did. But I'm doing that this year, and that's my pile. Like, some of them I got to play for 100 hours. Some of them will just be a couple of boss fights. So yeah, that's my goal for the year.
That game kicked my ass. That one was the one I was like, maybe I can't play Souls games.
This is the hardest Souls game because
For real. That was like the
you have to
second one
learn
I
to carry
tried.
in this game. There's no multiplayer help. You can't summon anyone. Like, it's got some of the bosses that you just can't choose. You have to beat them. You have to learn how to fight. And that's what I love about that game. Like, it forces you to get good. And then I've got one here that isn't for me. But we have a pickup for Beliskner, and he can talk about this one.
Yeah, that's Room Zoom, PAL version for the original Xbox, which is probably the rarest regular PAL Xbox release out there. It's really expensive. It's never for sale, so luckily Fixie found someone in Australia who was liquidating their complete set, so I got lucky there. I paid
Yeah,
pretty
we
much.
made a deal, and it worked out. It was a friend of mine.
Yeah, I paid pretty much the max I was willing to pay for that game. I was probably never gonna go any higher than that.
And this is a really nice condition copy, so it's definitely worth it.
Yeah.
You know, you could turn around and double your money if you needed to, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm still very, very happy with that. So, and I really don't have any more like really hard to find Xbox games left either. I think the hardest ones I have left to find are probably like the Tasmanian Tiger 3. Probably the first Steel Battalion. But other than that,
Well, if you
really.
need Ty,
Maybe-
we should talk about getting Ty before I send you some games, because it's not going to come from anyone else.
I know, yeah, but you can send me like all the stuff you have now, and we'll figure out something out later.
Get it one day.
Yeah. And I think, like, other than that, I think like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3 Battle Nexus is, I think, the next hardest to find game, and that's probably the other only one that's like 100 plus.
Did Steel Battalion get like a single release, or did it only get released with the controller and everything?
I actually don't know. It would make sense if it was also released on its own, because the second one, Line of Contact, was also released with a controller. So if someone just bought Line of Contact with a controller, they wouldn't have a need to buy the original Steel Battalion with a controller as well.
Yeah.
So it would make sense if there were also copies that never came with a controller.
Is it playable without the controller?
I don't think so. It may be,
Yeah,
but
maybe not.
I've never I've never seen someone play it without the controller.
No one shows it off unless they have the controller.
Yeah.
The only time you see videos.
I mean, if you don't use the controller, it's just like a mediocre mech game. Let's be real.
True. Like the controller is the experience. It's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
why would you play it? Other, I don't know.
Yeah, it's not like playing Guitar Hero with the controller where you can still have fun.
Mm.
Yeah, some company just came out with like a little tiny handheld controller that has like all the like Guitar Hero buttons on the side too.
That's cool.
So it's like you don't need a whole guitar. It's just like a little handheld controller, but it has all of the keys, and so you can just play it like that. And then I'm assuming they have another one for the right stick. I don't know. I saw it for like 5 minutes on Twitter. So I don't have any games. I just have a couple things that randomly showed up, sort of game related. So I got another PlayStation magazine. I haven't got one in a while. I am getting like to the point where there's only like 4 that I need, and then maybe like a whole bunch that I can keep going, because the magazine kept going into like PS3. It kept going, so I could keep collecting, but all the ones I need. But I did grab this one, right? This is the Tekken 3 one.
Nice.
Tekken 3 is like one of my favorite games of all time, and I love the artwork, and I love the blue. I think it looks freaking badass. And this is one of the ones that comes with memory stick card stickers inside.
Oh, that's cool. Nice.
And this one has all the memory card stickers in. So these are to me like the best you can get for these are, it's in good condition. If it comes with stickers or lid sticker, whatever, that's in there. And I love the ones that are like the newsstand versions. They don't have anybody's name printed on it. There's no, you know what I mean? It doesn't say like Doug fucking blah, blah, blah from Minnesota on it.
Give your address on it, because that's
Yeah, I prefer these copies with nothing, just a nice clean cover, all the artwork. You can see the whole thing. So I was like, yeah, I had to grab it. And it was a really good price for the condition. And like I said, so those are the trifecta to me. I always am like, oh, is it in good condition? Does it come with everything? And does it have some idiot's name on it? And if it doesn't, then I'm all over it. So I got this, and I need like 2 more or something like that. I did a condition upgrade too.
Are any of the ones that you're missing expensive?
Yes. I'm missing 1 and 2, which are both quite expensive. So the first one is Final Fantasy VII.
Of course,
issue number 1.
It's the game everyone wants, and it's number 1.
It's very expensive. And then the second one is Castlevania Symphony of the Night. So yeah, those 2 fetch a much higher price. And then there's also, I don't know, I'm not even sure why. I don't really know the history of it, but there's a Grand Theft Auto one that has a blue cover variant, I guess. And I've seen it listed for like $80 to $100. So I'm assuming that's like some sort of super special rare thing, I'm guessing.
I've been looking at old Club Nintendo issues, like German Club Nintendo issues, and the first ones are also really expensive. They're also like from the first year. They started making them in '89, and the first 3 from that year are all also like 80 to 100 plus.
They can get up there. Yeah, it's that's how it is with most magazines or comics or anything like that.
Yeah.
The first couple are always just insane. This one was a condition upgrade. So I actually I used to have a subscription to PlayStation Magazine. So I had my version of this with my name and my old address on it, but it was just beat to shit. Like I'm so happy that they're even survived. Like my stepmother, like a few years ago, was just like, hey, I found all of these fucking things. Do you want them? And I was like, hell yeah, you found my PlayStation magazines. Let's go. So excited. But like, obviously half of them were trashed. You know what I mean? I didn't take care of my shit when I was a kid. I was terrible. Hold a second. Do you guys, what the heck? you guys hear that? That's not even the right one.
No.
Is this the right one? That's what I was looking for. I read the wrong button. Who getting the call, guys? Who could it
Who is
be?
it? At this time,
It's Radical Reggie.
How's everybody doing? I just saw your message, Joe. Like, hey, you can join us 30 minutes, and I was like, oh crap, an hour's passed.
Well, it was
But,
just 5 a.m. at that time, so I'm not mad. I'm amazed you're even awake now.
Yeah, dude, I haven't. I woke up abruptly at like 1 a.m. and I started like working on some stuff and cleaning up some stuff and editing videos. So yeah, I still got a little bit of energy left in me. So maybe I gotta finish this out with you guys.
Let's go.
Happy to be
I
on,
feel
man.
that.
Hell yeah, man.
I had a nap yesterday at like 9 o'clock, woke up at like midnight, and then just went all night and like went to bed at like 9 o'clock.
Right. So
What's up?
we haven't formally met.
Beliskner.
Sorry, Beliskner, I don't have my glasses on.
First time,
Sorry.
yeah.
How's it going, man?
Going good. I still
Excellent.
remember you like from your first like Metal Jesus appearances like 10 plus years ago, actually.
Dude, can you
Yeah.
believe it's been that long, man? I was
Yeah.
telling Jason we should do like some kind of reunion video where we show like a thing of us like over the years or something like that. But yeah, I can't believe it's been over 10 years. It's been pretty awesome. It's letting everybody know knowledge of certain games. So
Dude,
Cool
you're
stuff.
the
flies.
collecting buying guides you guys did back in the day
yeah. Whoa,
were
man.
essential for probably
Yeah.
like tens of thousands of people who collect games. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So it's like
Yeah.
when I started out, I was into like, I knew a little bit about PS1 because that's what I was into and that's what I was collecting. But like, I watched all you guys' videos and the gems and everything. And yeah.
Yeah, I still
sure.
watch them even though they weren't helpful for me because I'm from Europe, so all the prices are different. So, but
Yeah.
they were still really entertaining, regardless.
Yeah, I try to throw like some import games in there. Like I'm pretty sure you heard of Rogue Flight, a PS5 game. Oh my, it's like Afterburner and Star Fox put together. It's amazing. Oh gosh, I can't wait to review it. But yeah, I try to keep people laced up with imports. But it seems like American audiences they don't care about imports like that. Like I give them the information, and a lot of them only care until it gets really rare. Then they want it. It's like I told you about it before. It was like when it was cheap. So I was like, what the heck?
So I think you'll see like a more that stuff happens when these new FPGA consoles come out. Like I feel like you know how they had that new N64 coming out that plays like any region.
Yeah.
I think you'll see Americans buying up PAL games now because of that. And then I think that PlayStation 1 that's coming out, same thing, that little FPGA PlayStation.
Yeah.
I think that you'll see people buying up Japanese games. I'm trying to get ahead of the curve and order some before it's too late.
Yeah.
So that's just my advice if you have any. But again, I don't want to start the stampede either. So I don't want to. It's like,
I think you're spot on because you see it with, the PS3, the PS4, the Switch. Like people get these games because they can play them. This is only got a release in Japan. It's got English. Well, I'm going to buy that version, and people from all around the world pick it up. But you don't see many, power collectors buying North American PS2 games or. People in North America buying Japanese PS1 games. You see Joe doing it, but that's an exception.
Just a few. And to be honest, even the ones I want, I can't afford them. They're already insane. So I'm not getting blamed for that. They're already $300. So, but anyway, this is the upgrade I got. I upgraded my special holiday issue.
Nice.
Naughty or nice. The one my old one was like, it was like all ratty and water damage and there was a tear and shit like that. So this was like a really good deal for the condition.
Joe's lying. The old issue was just sticky.
Shut the fuck up.
I didn't want to say it, man.
Hey Joe, are those the PS magazines? Are they affordable to collect them?
Yeah, they're not that bad.
Okay.
So that's what I was like. Like the 1 and 2, like the first couple are expensive, and then there's like a couple other random ones that are like mildly expensive. They're like $40, but for the majority of them, you can get them at like $5 to $10 a piece if you're savvy and you're patient. And if you're starting out, especially, people put lots up all the time where you can get like 13 issues for $60 plus shipping, and like so you're paying like $5 a magazine or whatever. Like so, they're not bad. But if you're picky like me, like I said, and you want like the good condition and you want all the stickers, you don't want it to have anybody's name on it. I'm paying probably like 10 to 15 a piece to get them. And then for the last two, part 1 and part 2, I'm gonna have to pay up.
But that unofficial.
So I want a nice condition one. So if I'm gonna buy it, I don't want like a $70 crappy one. I'm gonna pay $150 and get the nice one with the everything perfect.
Right, because it's like you're buying back the memories of those days, man. Like those magazines had awesome advertisements. I think the unofficial magazine is better than the official PlayStation magazine.
I personally like them better. Yeah, for sure.
The official magazine came with a demo disc, so that was the tempting factor for me. Like, oh, it comes with a demo, but the unofficial one was on point, dude. Like, they really did a lot of cool stuff.
Those demo discs were so good, but it was like 10 games and you want to play 5 of them, and then you got to watch a bunch of trailers. And like, as a kid, I would just play those demo discs. Like, that's all I would play. You know, like sometimes that's all you're playing, and then like there's days where you're just going through the demo discs and replaying them all.
Yeah, exactly.
What I really like from those old magazines, they would always have a section with upcoming releases, and especially like late 90s, early 2000s, when a game from that list didn't come out, that's maybe the only record there is that game was even in planning at all.
Yeah. Back then there was
100% right.
Yeah, there was no news about, there wasn't like gaming news or whatever. Like the hype would come from reading those magazines big time.
Yeah.
They tried gaming news back then, but they didn't have the chemistry for it. I remember watching some videos of like gaming news, and just the hosts were like so awkward and weird. It's like, what the heck? Like, yeah, let's move it on.
My favorite thing about reading the old magazines is their predictions, and like having them say like, Capcom has this new game coming out, Devil May Cry. Think it's going to be any good? I'm like, yeah, it turned out all right. I like that sort of stuff. Makes me laugh. Or their predictions, like, the PlayStation 3 is going to have this and this, and then nah.
It would get you excited. I remember when they were promoting the Ultra. Well, not the Ultra 64, but magazines do that type of stuff. Man, it was pretty awesome. But the ads, though, man, oh my god, the ads are so. You ever see it? I mean, not that it was a PlayStation one, but it's a Sega Saturn ad I remember from the old magazines. Had Ice Cube. You remember that with Ice Cube and the Saturn and all? It's so weird looking. I had to pull out the magazine to show you guys, but those advertisements like that were really awesome back in the day. You only get them in those magazines now.
It was a different
PlayStation. Well, there's sexualized ads they used to do.
Yeah, they were called funny. Yeah, they were back in the day when people had a sense of humor. You could joke around. It was fun.
Well, you got a sense of humor again now. Everything's back in order.
I know, it's nice. It's nice. It's coming back. We're gonna have it. We're gonna have it back. That's what we need. We need a new PlayStation magazine with ridiculous ads. Let's go. I did get this. This is probably my best pick.
I can tell.
Wow.
It's really good.
Dude, this box is fucking amazing. Even like the whole box. So yeah, this is the Helldivers 2, a limited edition controller. My box is a little damages at the top there. It's kind of disappointing. Corner, see that?
A little bit of glue will take care of that. No problem.
Yeah, it's not the end of the world. I mean, I'm not so OCD that I'm gonna throw a hissy fit about that. But yeah, this thing I think is absolutely gorgeous.
I've realized in the last week or two that my 2 controllers have got really bad stiff streak. When I was playing the piano on Final Fantasy, like it shows you your stiff
Really?
streak.
Oh wow!
I'm like permanently pressing a key. I'm gonna hold it just to stop it.
By the way, folks in the chat, we're all proud of Fixie. He beat Final Fantasy VII Rebirth recently.
Yes, he did.
Did it in 2 weeks, 70 hours. Put a lot of time into it.
Yeah, man, that's you got the time to play it and experience how alive that game is. So, very cool. I've been wanting to replay it again. But how'd you feel about it after you beat it? You pumped for the next game?
Yeah, I've got some complaints about it, which I mentioned before. Like some of the puzzles, they just hold your hand throughout the game. But the story itself, like just story, one of the best stories I've ever played. It was absolutely amazing.
Yeah, I don't know if I told you guys this before, but playing the remake, the remake originally, I didn't like Aria's character. I was like, oh, she's annoying, but I liked her in the original. But in the Rebirth, I said, man, I fell in love with her again. She's great. So that was a cool experience because I didn't think I was gonna like her. But in this game, because when you give characters voices and everything like that, they come alive and they don't hire the right actress. Like whatever. Like it could be something weird, like Final Fantasy X. Like they were with that laughing part. You guys remember the laughing on the pier? Yeah. Just oh god.
You mean they didn't have to cast that girl for Yuffie? They could have cast someone who wasn't annoying.
Dude, man,
Yuffie, when she would sing that Chocobo song. drove me nuts. And she go, "We're running,
No.
chocobo. We're all in a chocobo." After like the 14,000th time hearing that,
Sorry,
I was like,
dude. Yeah.
can I dismiss her from the party? Can I just mute her? Can I turn that off? Like I was going nuts. And Chadley can go to hell.
Yeah, Chadley's annoying.
Chadley, every 5 seconds, boop, hey boy, like shut up, bro. Just let me play. Shut up. I don't want to talk to you every.
You should do some research, and then you got to watch the cutscenes every time you do something.
Yeah.
Chadley can die in a fire. No offense, I hated him. I could.
I really enjoyed the card game. Like I could see that being a game released as its own.
Yeah, the card game was cool, but Fix, I want to ask you, what girl did you end up with in the Gold Saucer?
Well, see, it's not really spoilers or anything because it's a 25-year-old game. But I was talking to Joe about this before the show.
Oh.
I didn't know you could pick a girl.
Yeah.
So I was just doing everything you could. And if I could have picked one, I would have picked Tifa. But I ended up going with Aerith because that's just how it went. I didn't try and pick her. That's just what happened. I mustn't have found Tifa when I was walking around, or I spoke to Aerith first, you know.
Yeah, if you do their side quests and the certain answers you give them, that'll help your infinity points with them. I actually got Tifa the first time, but I didn't want her. I wanted Aerith, so I went back and redid it. And before I even beat the game, and then I got her. But yeah, the scene with them on the Gold Saucer is really cool, especially if you get the infinity points at maximum. There's like an extra scene or whatever like that. So cool stuff, man. But yeah, I want to play that game again right now so bad. I just don't have the time.
I'm looking forward to the next one. Like it's a solid 70 to 80 hour game. You know, you're not gonna beat it in 35 because they set up the game. So you know, if you're not this level, you're gonna struggle. You've got to do all the side quests to get to this level to be able to do this and blah blah blah.
Could you imagine playing all 3 parts like one after another? Like people were saying, "I'm gonna wait till all 3 of them come out." Like you're insane.
It's good the way that they did it because it's such a big game that like I couldn't play another Final Fantasy game right now. I need to play something else. Like I need to play something hard because I felt like it was a lot of linear handholding. Like I'm not a big fan of how they do their combat because I don't find it challenging at all. I just find it a pause fest. Heal, pause, heal. Oh, this boss has got 100,000 health. That'll just be like 30 med packs I've got to use, you know? I much prefer the like challenging style like Dark Souls or Wukong where, you know, you can die in this fight and you got to learn the boss and you got to dodge his moves and actually do that. Like I appreciate real combat rather than just square. There's times where I was like texting people on my phone going into fights and one-handing the controller and just pressing one button. Shouldn't be able to do that. I put Elden Ring in today and the first enemy in the game, I like went to fight him and I was struggling. I'm like, fuck, I actually have to fight this guy. Like I have a real fight again. But apart from that, I had a great experience. Like it was a 9 out of 10 for me for sure.
Right on. Heck yeah.
All right, my last pickup.
Oh, sorry, Joe. We didn't.
No, it's fine. I'm just like I'm on full screen like a weirdo. It's like, why are these guys talking? What the hell? Why are we looking at this ugly idiot? My last pickup. This is again, I kind of related back into the digital future and how even physical media can be shit sometimes. I don't know if you guys heard, but they're coming out with a new 4K release of Crocodile Dundee. I don't know if you heard about this. Where they're editing out like 2.5 minutes because it's got jokes in it that you can't make anymore about certain people and certain things. You can't make those jokes. They're releasing an edited version of it. And like I was just like, I do not like this is like what worries me more than anything about the digital future where these people are like I said, people are already out of their fucking minds now. It's only going to get worse over the next 20 years. These people will be like, you can't say the word air. You can't say that anymore. Air is not, we call it fucking, warm gas light. Whatever the fuck. They're out of their fucking minds. And it's just going to get worse. And the censorship's just going to get worse. So that's why I want things preserved physically, so I don't have to deal with that shit. So I bought the Blu-ray, you idiot. I bought 1 and 2, the double feature. I have all the offensive jokes that I want preserved the way I like them. I don't give a shit if you think they're offensive. Fuck you, man. Stop editing shit and taking shit out. Crocodile Dundee wasn't made for you. It was made for people in the 80s who were fucking normal back then, who could handle jokes. Like these
Dude,
crazy.
They should have added. They should have added 3 movies on. They should have added Lightning Jack on there too, because that's like a spinoff in a way.
Well, there was a third one. There was like they made like another Crocodile Dundee Goes to L.A.
That's right. Wow, I forgot. Oh my god.
Yeah, dude, it came out
Yeah,
like
it was just
way
not
later.
good.
It was like a made-for-TV version, and like they had like a more expensive one that included that, but it was like $10 to $12 more. And I'm like, I don't want that piece of shit. I'm not paying more money. All I want is 1 and 2. These are the only ones that matter. The other ones are kind of whatever. Although that third one, the one that goes to LA, it wasn't that bad. I don't think it was actually made for TV. I think it was like a real movie that got released.
2001, yeah.
Yeah, it's not that bad. It's actually funny. I remember it now that I think about it. It wasn't that bad, but 1 and 2 are the classics. These are the ones that matter to me, so I grabbed these. Yeah. But dude, that's what I'm saying. Unedited. I don't want anything. I'm like, the future is going to be shitty if everybody decides that everything's offensive and they edit it all out and they put warning labels in front of it like this came out in the blah 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 time and blah, blah. If you like, just don't watch stuff. If you're that easily offended, just don't watch TV. Don't watch anything. Just go play in the park or just watch Sesame Street. Sounds like that'd be more up your alley. Maybe you could watch some what is it? What is the freaking, I don't know. I can't even think of Blue's Clues. Maybe you could watch that.
I think it's the wrong. People are taking it the wrong way. It's almost like if you see how people were in the past, you should appreciate that things are different today and be like, well, this is how it was in the 80s and it's not like this anymore. It's like when you look at history, if you go and look at the 1700s and look how people lived then, people aren't going, oh, cancel history because we don't do this anymore and we don't have peasants in the streets and different things like that. We can't talk about that anymore. That's not how it works. We go in, like, some things from history are hidden, especially if you're in countries like China and stuff like that. But, like, history should be taught and people should know what happened, if it was good or bad. And it's the same as the 70s, the 80s, the 90s,
And if there are no physical versions of things to prove that it's been edited, people won't even know. So like you'll watch a movie and they'll have edited it and you'll just be sitting there like, I swear to God, there was a scene I remember when I was a kid that this happened and this happened and that happened. And like what's funny is that happens a lot on like how they used to release movies on TV all the time. And you get the TV edited version. You know what I'm talking about? So they would have to like censor the language and So there's actually like sometimes there were differences in the TV versions that people remember that aren't in the actual movies because that never happened in the actual movies. So there is fascinating when some people's memories can do that. But anyway, my point is like with the all digital thing, they can just change stuff and you won't even know. You can't prove it. And it sucks. I don't want it at all, man. Like I don't want that at all. I want the opposite. I want them to add in more offensive shit. Let's go the other way. Let's
all those deleted
some more fucking crazy shit in there.
This was cut from the movie. Well, add it in. I'm paying for the extra,
Exactly.
Have you guys
got any pickups to show off, Beliskner?
Yeah, I have a bunch. I actually have PlayStation stuff again, unlike last time. We'll get to that. But first, I have Star Wars.
Oh, that game's so hard.
Return of the Jedi. Yeah. I tried the first one. I got pretty far, but I ended up not finishing it. But yeah, this is the final one that I needed from the trilogy. Was really lucky to get a good price on this one. I got 2 more N64 boxes. I only need 28 now.
Going for a complete set. Okay.
Yeah, I already have a complete set of cartridges, but I've been upgrading for many years now. So this is Space Station Silicon Valley.
Nice. Does that include Snowboard Kids box still to get?
Yeah, I still need Snowboard Kids too, yeah.
Okay.
But the thing is,
it's not impossible.
It's not impossible. Snowboard Kids 2 and StarCraft are actually not the most expensive PAL games boxed anymore. Because recently a Rat Attack complete sold for $2,500. which I believe is more expensive than the most recent sales of Snowball Kids 2 and StarCraft. Which is pretty crazy because the cartridge for Rat Attack is only like 100, if that. So I was pretty surprised when that auction went up. I thought it would go for like maybe 800 or so, but
Damn, that's crazy.
2,500.
For the
I mean, it
card
can just come down to rarity and complete collectors needing it for their collection. Like, if
Yeah.
2 people need it to finish a set and they're the bidders, like, you know,
Yeah.
an $800 game turns into a $2,500 game.
Granted, it was in really, really good condition, and it was 100% complete as well. Like, it was actually really, really good shape. So a more beat up one would probably be maybe half the price only. Who knows? I also got Toy Story 2 boxed.
Nice.
I don't really have any common ones left anymore. Like almost all the N64 boxes I need are kind of hard to find. But I do have some hard to find ones like Aiden Chronicles and Chameleon Twist 2, which are pretty expensive, but there's always gonna be like you're just always gonna be left with a lot of hard to find ones. It's just unavoidable, I guess.
Yeah,
without putting the money out
cartridge
there
is
up front, for sure.
always a bit more expensive, man. So
Yeah. Speaking of cartridges, I have 4 more NES games for the set. I'm down to 51 now. But again, I have most of the really hard to find ones still to go.
Hey, 51's a year away. You can do a game a week.
Oh yeah, sure. And I'm getting like the 8 hardest to find ones, which are all like 500 plus. Yay!
They're just expensive weeks.
full set collecting. I always tell people it's super fun until it's not.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden you're like, damn.
The final 20 and then the final 10. Like the final 10 all suck always.
Well, that's
yeah.
that's gonna be rough. Is like the final 10 will be the most expensive, and literally some of them will be complete shit. They are absolutely.
It'll be 4 expensive ones, and then it'll be like 2 sport games that are like retail price still, and you're like, why is PES 18 $70?
I know for PAL NES, there's probably like I made a list recently because I went through everything I was still missing, and there are like 8 games that I need that are all around 500 or more. And then there's like a pretty significant drop off like for the next ones, which are like 200, 250, and like nothing in between. But the real problem is there's like 3 games that you just can't buy even if you wanted to because they're just never for sale at all. So
they're the ones that once they go up, you buy them instantly. You know, they're the ones.
If you have the money, yeah. I mean,
yeah.
All of them were for sale recently, but they were bought instantly, and like even the cartridges for those are all 1,000 plus. So
wow.
there's one for sale. One of them is Snowboard Challenge, which I think in NA it's called like Heavy Shreddin' or something. It's like a snowboard game. It's like $10 in North America, but the PAL version Snowboard Challenge, there's a complete one on eBay Spain right now for I think 5,000.
What?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, it's a really rare game. And that one cartridge that was for sale recently sold instantly for 1,500.
Damn, for a card. That's crazy.
Yeah. But anyways, I got Star Trek 25th anniversary instead, which was like $20.
Nice. I'd rather play that.
Yeah.
I love Star Trek.
Also got Astyanax.
That's good.
Nice, that looks good.
One more hard to find cartridge, Eliminator Boat Duel, which only came out in Sweden. And I got it from a site there as well for much cheaper than what I would have had to pay here. But the best one I got, this was the cheapest. It was cheaper than every card I've ever seen. And this is with the box. But the box is in really bad shape. But as soon as it was posted, I got on it immediately because I knew I was never going to find another box. And that is Capcom's Gold Medal Challenge. And you can see, like, down here, there's a pretty significant rip where you can see the styrofoam through, which is really unfortunate. The rest of the box is, not terrible.
I
But
mean,
yeah,
let's
this
be
is-
honest.
This
you were
is
a kid,
really hard to find.
yeah, if you were a kid and you got that box and you looked at it, would you save that box? That
Rip
is-
it open. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Oh, like of all the things I would have saved, I would have saved Legend of Zelda because it was cool. It was gold. That was
True,
looks
yeah.
cool, you know what I mean?
And
But
it had that little
thing, I
cutout
would've
where
been
you can
like,
see the cartridge.
look at these goofy bastards. I'm not fucking saving this. Sorry.
Okay, I also got, for the first time in like a year or something, I got new Atari 2600 games. Someone sold a big bunch of their collection, and there were some really, really rare ones in there as well, but I didn't get any of the really super rare ones.
Mhm.
I tried, but I didn't. Instead, I got Threshold
Nice.
from Tiger Vision. This company is really cool. Like, all of their boxes are really cool. Like, all the artwork, like, it goes around
Yeah,
Let's go.
the box. They have really, really good artwork, and they
Like,
are
is that
very, very
embossed, the
colorful as
title?
well.
Is that like textured? It looks like it's like embossed. That gold. Logo.
Yeah, the title is embossed. Yeah,
Yeah, that's nice. That's cool. Is it like
yeah. This is like a
whole shmup or something?
space strategy
Oh,
kind
okay.
of game. It's actually kind of elaborate for the time.
That goes back to my other point where like they just released the like 2600 plus and 7800 plus over here, and
Yeah,
those
yeah.
new
It's all
consoles,
here
like,
as well.
yeah, so like all of a sudden I feel like there's been this new resurgence interest in Atari, and Atari carts are being sold more, and they've gone up a little bit because that's just how it goes. So it's like once people have these new platforms, then it like reinvigorates the market a little bit.
Mm. And I also got Room of Doom from Comavid, which is kind of a notorious company. Almost all of their games are really hard to find, like really low print runs. That guy had two others from theirs for sale. I think Mines of Minos and some other game I can't remember right now. But this company, this is the same company that also made the Magic card, I think, which only came out in North America. That's one of the rarest Atari 2600 games, period. I think that cartridge alone is thousands.
Wow.
I got some Vita games. The like PlayStation, I don't really pick up stuff anymore because I'm not really focusing on any PlayStation systems except for the Vita. And I got Farming Simulator 18.
Classic Land vs.
Must have, of course.
Mm.
I got Collar X Malice. This one's still
That
sealed,
was
but
good.
I don't care about sealed. I've opened, like for Vita, I'm pretty sure I've opened like 3 or 4 sealed ones already because I wanted to play them, because I just don't care.
Yeah.
And I got Demon Gaze 2. This is
Nice.
the
The
hardest to find
Australian
one.
version of that's worth over $1,000.
Really?
Over 1,000, damn.
Yeah. Just because of the print run is ridiculously low, and there's so many people going for a full set. So it
Yeah,
just
most
never
the-
shows up for some.
Most of the European ones, including this one, which is the German one, they are usually like 150 or so, but I got this one for 65, which is pretty good. That's actually a pretty good price for almost every single game I'm missing for that system still.
I haven't seen it sold for a long time. Just having a look.
I got one TurboGrafx game, R-Type.
Nice. I mean, that's a good one.
Yeah, it's like so hard to get TurboGrafx games here because TurboGrafx didn't release here, and I already have most of the ones where they had a bunch of new old stock here in preparation for the European release of the TurboGrafx. That all got liquidated in the early 2000s, so most of those I already have. But games like these that weren't part of that, like they're just never for sale because no one ever had them. So it's always nice to see TurboGrafx games for sale
Well,
here.
I was sorry. I meant to when you were talking about Vita earlier too. I meant to mention. Did you guys see Limited Run Games is going to be doing like a the vault or whatever they call it, where they're selling like their back stock? Well, I think they said the first time they were doing that, they're going to be like liquidating the remaining Vita stock that they have.
Should
So
have done that years ago, man. I'm like, man, they're just now.
Seriously.
and
But now they know they can ask like a
Exactly.
whole bunch of money for them.
This will be supposedly like the last chance to get any Vita stuff from them. So if you are a Vita person, I did want to.
You watch it all be retail or more. They won't discount any of it.
I have no idea what they'll even have. They haven't said like what games, how much.
They better be
they'll-
breach and clear in there for everybody.
Oh, nice, yeah.
Well, I have a
Oh,
feeling.
here's the 10,000 copies of Breach and Clear that we've accidentally reprinted.
I remember when Breach and Clear came out, and that was back when Nintendo Age was still up and I was on there, and
Yeah.
a lot of these people were coping like so hard, like they weren't so hard coping. Oh yeah, it's so good that this had a physical release because I wanted to play it. And I'm like, nah, you're not. Like, no. and of course, like where do you ever see like an open copy of that game?
It's always
Nowhere.
sealed, man. No one's playing
Yeah.
that game, man. Because with the price it goes for, most people will download it if they want to play it. But even then, I hear it's not very good. It even got a sequel on the PS4, which I used to own.
Breach and Clear was interesting because there was always sales on eBay from an address in North Carolina for like 5 years.
Really,
There was
North
just
Carolina.
constant
That's where.
sales. Every week there was sales every single week from this address in North Carolina.
That happens to be
This
where
seller
Lemon Run
had
is at.
hundreds or thousands of copies, and it was supposedly 1,000 or 1,500 of them. You know, and
Yeah, that was a fun time when that came out. Luckily, I never jumped on that.
On the Vita collecting, yeah, it was pretty intense.
Yeah, I do collect Vita, and I'm going for the PAL set, but I exclude like all the limited run,
Limited run
like
stuff,
company,
yeah.
except for the ones that I know are based in Europe and have the PEGI
Right.
age rating on them. I do collect all of those.
Okay.
I do have a few more.
the European companies are the worst.
I have some Neo Geo Pocket Color games,
Whoa, yes.
which is-
All right.
which is also really uncommon to find any for sale. Period. But for some reason there were a bunch these past few weeks. I got Crush Roller,
Nice.
Nice.
which is like a puzzle game. Biomotor Unitron.
hmm
That's an RPG.
Like Pokemon with robots.
Yeah,
Pretty
yeah.
cool.
This one is right. SNK versus Capcom match of the
Yes, a
millennium.
must-have. Awesome game.
And then the last one I have is for the black and white Neo Geo Pocket, which for that one you never see games for sale at all because about not even half a year after the original Neo Geo Pocket was released, it was pulled
Color.
in favor of the Neo Geo Pocket Color. Yeah, like all the remaining stock was back called. So there are only 5 original Neo Geo Pocket games that were released in Europe, and this is one of them. And this was a newly listed buy it now or best offer for I think $59.95, which is already pretty cheap for a Neo Geo Pocket game. But I've never even seen it for sale before. I've never even seen like sell at all. Like this game is really, really, really hard to find, and that is King of Fighters Round 1.
I knew it. I knew it was going to be that one when you. I just knew it.
Yeah, it's,
Right on, dude.
you see the Japanese one like a bunch, but the European one you never see because
Never see it.
again, like all the stock was just called back by SNK as soon as the Neo Geo Pocket Color came out. So unless you immediately bought the Neo Geo Pocket on release and got this game, there was no chance of you ever getting it again. That's also the reason why a lot of the Neo Geo Pocket games are so hard to find these days, because after SNK went bankrupt in 2001, they called back all the remaining hard and software from Europe and North America. Actually, I think they recalled it even before they went bankrupt because they saw the writing on the wall. And some of these games got recalled only weeks after they were released. So some of them only sold maybe 1,000 copies, if that. Which is why a lot of the Neo Geo Pocket games are so hard to find now.
That's sick, man.
Yeah. It's
Really
probably like Neo Geo Pocket Color is probably one of those consoles that's gonna be impossible to get a complete set for because Evolution Eternal Dungeons exists. And I believe that game was literally released like 5 or 6 days before the recall started. And only a
Really?
few, yeah, and probably only a few hundred were ever sold at all. And that's another game. I think I've seen it for sale once, like 8-9 years ago or something, and it's sold for like 3,000 or something. So probably no chance in hell I'm ever finding one of those.
Never say never.
Yeah, you would have said that about a lot of games that you've picked up. So it's one
True.
of those things.
I did say it about Almanach Original after I finished like PSP, and I was only missing Almanach Original because at that time,
And you literally were like joking about having a full set because it just doesn't count.
yeah, because like at that time, I think the cheapest one for sale was like 3,000 as well, but the guy who was selling it, he was lowering his price like every couple of weeks or so until it was like 500 or something, and I just sent him an offer and he accepted for some reason, which I still can't believe that happened. Because even since then, it's been like 2 years or so since then. And
I've still seen more copies of that than Battle Royale for sale, that's for sure.
Yeah, they're
People
still for sale,
send
but
me
they're still for
people
sale,
like
but they
still
all
send me
want.
messages on eBay asking if I can get copies of it. Like random people just email me. Like never seen this person before, but they followed my listing like 4 years ago, and they still can't find this game.
Yeah, I'm still very thankful that you held one of those copies for me. That would
Yeah, that's
would have
okay.
been a real pain in the ass.
Sweet.
But yeah,
Anything
that's
Oh,
it for
cool.
pickups from me.
Right
Red,
on.
you got some stuff, man?
Yeah, I may have a couple of things here. Luckily, I think I have a lot of it set up here, so I can show you guys footage. So I'll start with the first one here. Let me look at my list. You got Azure Striker Gunvolt 3 for the PS3. That came from Limited Run. It came early, actually, which is pretty cool. So this is an action adventure game, very similar to games like Mega Man ZX, Z Series, Mega Man X in general itself. I feel like it's like a spiritual successor to those games. But out of all the Gunvolt games, man, this one plays the best. Like the girl got the sword, she could teleport if you like target your enemies with the cards and everything like that. And the bosses are pretty fun. So definitely a really good game. And this version of the game has a DLC embedded on the disc. So the game came out with DLC later that was free. It was an extra scenario, but now that's all embedded on the disc, which is nice. So pretty
That's
impressed
awesome.
with this one. Yeah. Next game here is going to be don't laugh, but I'm a fan of Felix the Cat. Yeah, I got my Felix the Cat from VGP. They got a restock of it, so you get Felix the Cat NES and
Oh, I
Felix
didn't
the
know
Cat
this
for
came
Game
out.
Boy.
This
Yeah,
is a
dude.
PS4?
Yeah, it came out for PS4 from Limited Run. I mean, the games originally came out on NES and Game Boy, right? But this collection, they Limited Run. I don't think they really promoted the PS4 version that much, but they did promote the PS5 version, I think, and a Switch version, of course.
That's
But,
the one I need for NES as well. I think it's like 120 or so. It's not cheap.
Yeah, it's not cheap. And I gave my copy to my buddy because I knew I was going to get this one. But I had got my copy lucky at an event like 3 years ago. I think I got it for 50 something. But
That's pretty good,
it's up. Yeah. But Felix the Cat, another one. Let's see, what else do I have here? If you like Metroidvania games, oh my God, Rusted Moss. Oh my God, this game's so cool. So it came with all this extra stuff here. Soundtrack I'm happy with. Art book is okay. It's just kind of big and flimsy. But you got animated cutscenes in the game. It's a Metroidvania. The whole gimmick with this game is a grappling hook you have. So, it's a twin stick Metroidvania. So you're going to be using both analogs. But the gimmick is that how you use that grappling hook around like enemies and certain bosses and just around the overall platforming, I would say. So definitely a cool game to try out.
It kind of looks like Bionic Commando Rearmed, where you could also jump, but it was still mostly grappling.
Right, exactly. So looking forward to playing this one though. And it's on the cheap. I'm not waiting for it to come to America because this is already in English, so don't have to worry about the story.
Yeah, it's just the Asian release so far. Japan, right?
Yep, exactly. So pretty cool.
And it's pretty cheap on right now on PlayAsia, if I remember correctly. It's like $25 or something.
Exactly. And it's available on Switch if anybody wasn't on Switch. Next game here is a game that's been out for, I think, around 7 years. Came out in 2017. This is Metroid Rogue Dawn, the unofficial prequel to the original Metroid game. I got this from Project Retro Games. And it's
That doesn't look like official artwork. No.
I know, right? Like Nintendo would never put that out there, but I love how he put the seal on there anyway.
We would have all known that she was a girl before the real game came out. You know what I'm saying?
I know, right? Exactly.
Surprised anybody.
But dude, they did a good job on this game, man. It really feels like its own story. So that's why this is probably one of the more popular Metroid homebrews out there, I would say. So, and I think you can play as another character too, not just Samus, but you can see her without her suit right now going around. The game definitely has a better pacing than the original Metroid. Yeah, man, definitely something pretty cool. If you're a Metroidvania fan, you can get Metroid Rogue Dawn pretty soon from Project Retro. I also picked up on sale Wild Guns Reloaded, the collector's edition, $50.
All right, let's go.
And look at all this extra stuff it comes with.
Sick.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I love how that art piece right there.
Yeah, that's cool.
Then you got the stickers. I don't really care for stickers. I mean, it's just like I'd rather have like something else. But the stickers, I guess they just toss it in just as an extra. But it does come with soundtrack, art book, postcards, all that good stuff. So I was happy with that. If people haven't played this game, in the comment section, it plays like a gallery shooter. So similar to games like Cabal, Blood Bros, which is one of my favorite games of all time.
So good.
That needs a physical release. I got to hit up Evercade and tell, hey, you got to put Blood Bros on some kind of cart. But you can see the gallery shooter here. It's pretty tough though. I'm not gonna lie, man. Like the team system is pretty busted in this game. Like they want these battles to be hard and tough. But once you get used to it, it can be pretty moderate. I would say not easy, but yeah, this game is too challenging sometimes, but it's still fun.
It's super good.
Let's see here. I got the collector's edition, the pink edition of Shinobi for the Switch. And if you like shoot 'em ups, definitely this is a shoot 'em up that will make you like, I don't know, man. It might even cause you seizures the way the colors are. It's like there's so much stuff going on here. It's like, dude, this is insane. And this is just the first boss right here. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, what the hell? But it reminds me of that game on the Dreamcast. I can't think of it. It's a shoot 'em up. It's called Ghost.
Bangai-O?
No, it's the Ghost one. It's a homebrew. It came out later. It's been ported to everything.
HD.
What'd you say?
Ghostblade.
Yeah, Ghostblade. It reminds me of Ghostblade. The way the mechanic is with your weapons, how you can you hold it down, your weapon is all like super strong, and if you press it, it's like it shoots out like bullets like that. How the spread shot is like it's kind of cool like that. But anyway, it's definitely okay.
Did they actually update anything in this version? Is it the same as the original the
Shinobi?
Yeah, because it came out a while ago, I thought. So I'm surprised there's a new version. I'm just curious what they changed.
I think it's the same. This is like a collector's edition type thing with the extra stuff, steelbook, all that good stuff.
Okay.
But and next game here is Trigger Heart Excelica for the Switch. This is another collector's edition, but they did get an American version that came out for the Switch. You get it on Amazon. I'm actually trading that copy to Jason for some stuff, but I got this collector's edition to hold me down. Soundtrack, replica. Now I would say this was the second to last Dreamcast game to come out on the system officially in Japan. So it was kind of funny with this one that the whole gimmick is that you could grab your enemies and toss them at each other and toss them at at your enemies, and it's like you have your regular bullets, you have your bombs and clear screens. And that's about it in this one. Nothing really too special besides the throwing gimmick. But maybe we get some more fans for Trigger Heart Exceller because it's never been officially released in America. I guess this is the first time being officially released out here.
It's weird. So yeah, you have a grappling hook just like that other game, and you can shoot it in the enemy, and then if you hold it down, you swing them around your head, and then you can let it go and chuck it at something and try to hit it. But you can also use that to clear bullets. So if you have something, you can swing it around and it will clean. Like there are certain sections of like the game where it's just like the whole screen is bullets, and you have to grab stuff and just swing it around your head to clear like a path out, because there's it's crazy, but it's a gimmicky game. So any shmup that has a gimmick is cool, but it's also like, all right, after a while you're like, I just want to play a regular.
So I want to play a regular game, exactly.
It's just like that, like the one that everybody likes, with the duality or whatever, Ikaruga. Like that's cool, but after a while, I'm like, I just want to dodge the damn things. I don't want to worry about this fucking bullet polarity thing or whatever.
Almost
All
like
right, so-
you could do that for a level and then make it normal again.
All right, so the next game is going to be the King of Fighters 98. Hopefully, I got the screen pulled up. Wait a minute, something messed up here. There we go. So I got the deluxe edition this time, which came with the long aluminum plate poster, as you can see there, which is pretty amazing. I think this is the second best King of the Fighters game next to King of the Fighters 2002 Unlimited, because it's a dream match game, so you're bringing all these characters back that were missing from certain games. But man, it's so much fun, man. Like the stuff you can do in these games. If you like fighting games, I mean, King of the Fighters is just that's always where it's at for me. They're not able to make them like they used to because they're not recycling graphics, but still, I mean, just an amazing fighting game series.
What's your favorite one?
2002 Unlimited.
Cool. Yeah, I haven't played them all.
So hopefully this next game will impress Figsy and everybody on that's watching. But I like games that push the Game Boy Advance's limits. And next we have V Rally 3.
Oh, let's go. I love the Rally series.
Dude, this is amazing, Figsy. I was going to buy the American one, and it was so expensive, but the PAL version was cheaper. I was like, perfect. I'll get that one. And it was in box. So this came last week.
It looks so much fun too. Like I can imagine playing this on the Game Boy.
Well, look at
really
this,
good for an
Figsy.
advanced
You can
game,
play
yeah.
it you can play it in first person like that. See the steering wheel? That's amazing. Feel like you're playing VR a little bit. So I saw that. I was like, dude, and then your windshield takes damage. Like, dude, this is cool stuff, man. So had to pick this one up. Definitely a game I feel like it pushes the Game Boy Advance. I mean, the Game Boy Advance is a 32-bit system, so maybe not really push it, but it shows you what that system could do. You know what I mean? So definitely, if you haven't played V Rally Racing or the series at all, the Game Boy Advance version is on point, but all the other versions are pretty good too. Like I have them
You
on
get the
PlayStation.
PS1 version for like $10. Those
Exactly.
are great games. So shout out to Jack Green for the donation. We'll get to some of the Discord pickups at the end, man. But yeah, appreciate that. Thanks.
Okay, so I'll move on here. Let me see what I got. What's I got? Just going through the list here. So, I got Blur. You guys know about Blur.
Nice.
Oh, yeah.
I love Blur. So good.
Sorry, my screen messed up here. There, put the footage here. Blur. It's still online too, man. Like I was racing people online, like having a great time with it. So I was like, I came in last place, but still, I was just, just testing, seeing what I could do, man.
And it's free. It's free online. You don't need PlayStation Plus to play it or anything.
No, you don't need any of that stuff, which is great. So, Blur. Who else do we have here? I got geez, where does this thing keeps popping up weird stuff? Okay, here we go. Everspace Part 2, which I was really happy about getting. I've been looking for this game for a long time for PS5, and I found it at GameStop of all places. It's a bit different from the original game where it's not a roguelike game. It's more story-driven with side quests. But, dude, these type of games for me is where it's at, man, because I've always been like fascinated with space travel and going to other planets and stuff like that. So this game was perfect for me. As you can see, like I'm in this cave right now, fighting these enemies, and then a little bit after this part, I think we had to get into like this big dogfight with some unknown enemies outside. But it was just overall really fun. The controls, like it controls really well, I would say. But I just love how that looks, man. Like you're in space.
Yeah, it looks amazing.
Yeah. So definitely happy to have that. This next game here, I don't know if you could maybe you could say this game. You celebrate Black History Month or something. Iron Wing is a story of like a World War II of those two characters, and I can see where they were trying to do with this game. You know what I mean? The gameplay itself, it takes a bit of getting used to, and the story was kind of done. Like I see what they were trying to do with it, but it was like it sounds like it's in mono. They needed to have the sound better on that because it's kind of like just sounds weird, but other than that, I chose this game because it's developed by one of my companies that I liked back in the day called Naps. They're the guys that created the Keto games, those fighting games on PS1. Anybody remembers those? It was like a beat 'em up. Yeah, took a chance with it. It's an okay game, you know. Yeah,
I've never heard of this game in my life.
I had the Switch version, and then I saw it came out on PS4 because Sean had got it, the PS5 version. So I looked it up. So, there's the PS4 version. German exclusive.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a German exclusive. Somebody's selling it on eBay for like $20, but the game plays in English though, so you can choose the languages and stuff. So you don't have to. This is that big ugly logo, the German logo, the rating logo on it. I hate how that looks because it takes up a good chunk of the art book on the cover. But
Doesn't
other
it
than
have
that-
reverse artwork? A lot of the German ones have reverse artwork where the rating is not on there.
Dude, I need to look at. I don't think it did, but maybe it does. That'd be cool because I would switch it out in a heartbeat. You know, because
Yeah, I think a lot of people do that because the company has realized that people don't really like it, but it has to be on the front for like legal reasons. They just
That's
double put
cool.
the cover.
Yeah. So I think, let me see here. Is that it for me?
Yeah, Germany gets so many exclusive games, though. There really are. That's like its whole.
They do.
Yeah, there's a ton of stuff that came out just in Germany.
You're welcome.
Oh, Promenade. That's another one I just got on the Switch.
Oh,
You guys
yeah.
play
Oh,
that?
I got a game I need you to find for me. I'll let you know after. You're in Germany, right? There's just one I need.
It starts with an S, silver. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, this is another cool platform game where you kind of create platforms and hop on them and stuff like that. Sorry, I'm losing my energy. I'm kind of tired, but yeah,
It's all good.
Yeah,
man.
just
like 7 a.m. over there.
Yeah.
you know what's funny? Early last night we did I did the PlayStation Ain't Dead podcast, and I made a funny segment, and I'll just show you guys what I did here. It's kind of hilarious, but it's called "Does Will Own It?" You know what I mean? So we tested to see if Will owns certain games, and I'm just gonna show the games just to kind of just to see if you guys own them. I didn't have the time to do one. I didn't have time to do one for Figsy because I just found out about the stream, but
It's 5 a.m.
I know, right? This game, do you guys? Oh, yeah. Hopefully, you guys own this Trouble Witches for the PS4 or Switch. This is a shoot 'em up that is very similar to Magic Chase on the TurboGrafx system. You know, with especially how you buy new upgrades and things like that. So, do you guys own this cool shoot 'em up?
I've never even seen it before, I'll be honest. Looks cool.
Figsy, this is a must-have, man. This game is awesome. If you want, this is the one of those shoot 'em ups that go under the radar just because it just didn't get the proper licensing from the right people to promote it. But
Can you
it
type
came
the
out-
name in the group and I'll look it up after the show?
Yeah, I'll type it in there. So, but it officially came out to America on the Xbox Live service back in the day, and that version was 2 players. But they took the 2-player out of it, and they just made it 1 player, which I like because it gets pretty crazy on the screen and everything.
Yeah,
But lots of cool bosses, great music, great upgrade. This game is a blast, dude, and I'm just surprised a lot of people aren't playing this one because it's a really good game.
yeah.
It looks good.
Yeah, I have that one. That one's insanely fun. So you can like buy all these different spells and stuff to get you out of things, and like that character before has this giant circle like of orb protection that like stops all the bullets and slows them down and like turns them into coins, I think, eventually. Dude, it's so good. This game is like amazing. It's fun.
Almost giving me like a Memoruken's Curse vibe. You got like the different type of abilities and stuff.
Yeah, and lots of different characters to choose from too. The only character they took out of it is because Cotton was one of them, but since she's licensed, I don't think they took out of the. She's in the original Xbox version because download, but this one they took her out. So, and then the last game here is going to be a weird one. I think Joe owns it, but if not, hopefully he will. And that is Too Dark, a survival horror game where you play as a detective that has to rescue children that have been kidnapped. So this is made by the original creator of Alone in the Dark. He made this game, and it's pretty crazy. You got to rescue the kids out of these bad situations. Try not to get caught. But when you're trying to lead them outside, the stalker or killer, whoever's in that certain area, is coming after you. So you got to protect the kids while stunning them to get out of the place because there's like booby trap and pretty crazy stuff, man. But definitely a cool survival horror game. that people might want to play, and it comes with all those that extra stuff if you get the PAL version. It did get a regular version in Japan later on, but I think most people want to get the European version because it comes with all that cool stuff, you know, soundtrack, art book, you know, and it's still like pretty cheap. It was like pretty cheap. Like, I think I got mine for like $40 back in the day. But,
Yeah.
I feel like I own it, but I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah. So sorry.
Yeah, I have it. It's right there.
Okay.
There.
And I think that's about it for me. Yeah.
Thanks, man.
That's funny, dude.
Wow.
I got a bit of exciting news. I just checked my my Australia Post app, and I got a tracking notification from First Press Games that my parcel has left Germany and it's on the way.
What?
So
Wow.
I emailed First Press Games like a week ago and said, "Hey, where's my package?" Blah blah blah. And then like 24 hours later, they marked it as sent. And then like 2 weeks later, they posted it. So if you're waiting on a package, just email them, and they're probably like, "This person's trouble. Get their shit out first, and everyone else can wait."
That's crazy. Wow.
What?
What are they doing? Like one a week? They're mailing out 2 copies a week? I don't understand.
They're like, every time we sell a game, we post a game.
I literally don't get it. I ordered mine forever. I haven't got nothing, so I guess I'll have to email.
I
them.
ordered mine this year. It was
Can
in
I
January.
please have the game I bought? Please? Can you mind?
Ridiculous.
Ridiculous. Well, congratulations. I'm glad that you're getting it.
Yeah, so it's Chained Echoes if everyone's wondering what game it was.
Yeah. Order at your own risk. Well, I tried to tell you
I was
that.
going to show some of the pickups from Discord quickly, guys.
Sure. Yeah, I remember when you said that you ordered that, you were like, yeah, they said it was shipped. And I'm like, yeah, but that don't mean it's, they're not going to actually ship it for a
I
while.
went and read the comments and seen that, yeah, it's
They
shipped,
always
but
do
my shipping hasn't updated. It's been 10 days. Someone's like, you got to wait 11 and then it updates. Link's picked up some cool stuff here. I've got some of the Onimusha games in this one.
Can you full screen that more or no?
Isn't that on a Chanbara?
That's Oni
Top right?
Chambara on the top right.
Yeah.
The Japanese version. Nobunaga's Ambition. That top one, I'm not sure what the middle one is, like a fighting game or something like that. I don't know.
That
That's as
Anarchy
big as
Reigns,
it
that's
goes.
Anarchy
Energy Reigns. Yeah, that game is a sequel to Mad World on
Yeah.
Mad something on the Wii.
in PAL. Getting a non-limited edition copy of Anarchy Reigns is really, really hard.
Really?
Yeah, I had to import one from Spain or something. That was like,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
that
really
was,
hard to
that
get.
was weird.
Dude, that game is raw,
Yeah.
dude. Like the dialogue that they say in it, it's crazy. But that game is hilarious. Like, it's one of those games that won't get made today because it might offend some people.
Perfect. It's cheap. I got it.
Road Trip? I've never heard of that.
And then you got the middle game on the top. It's called I just talked about it a couple of weeks ago. I totally forgot what it's called. It's called Golden. No, I can't remember what it's called. Jesus. Oh, Million Arthur fighting game. That's cool.
Nice. It's Square Enix. Looks cool.
Yeah, that's one thing about Japanese games. There's quite a few PS4 exclusive fighting games that you can play because it's just a fighting game. You don't really need it to be English anyway. So, there you go.
LOL's posted some games. We've got Sudoku Tactics. And the artwork looks really cool. I didn't know the US version looked like that.
Mhm.
And then we've got the PSP Dual Pack for Twisted Metal Head On and Motorstorm Arctic Edge. That's pretty cool.
That's a good one.
I like the artwork too because it's like half of the car and half of the other car. It's cool.
If I was buying a PSP back in the day, I would 100% buy that.
Arctic Edge is really cool.
I love Twisted Metal, so we know this, I think.
LOL posted some more stuff. We've got Suikoden 5, Shadow Man 2, The Amazing Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind, Oddworld Stranger's Wrath, and Breakdown. So love
That one also has
I
different
kind of
colors,
wish
yeah.
they would redo Morrowind in HD with modern sense of life. That'd be awesome.
I need to get Shadow Man 2. That's what I need to get out of
Was
that.
Shadow Man 1 any good?
Not on PlayStation. It's really
Not
bad.
on N64 either.
But it was supposedly all right on the N64.
No,
So
it
they
wasn't
meet
really.
part 2, so they made enough money.
Yeah.
I wonder how part 2 is then.
I've never played it, but I think it came out on that and Xbox and the PlayStation 2. I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
I do want it though because I do have Shadow Man 1. I bought the limited run games remastered version.
No,
of
that's
it.
right there.
Yes, I am pretty sure that one plays all right.
And we've also got Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker on the PSP.
That is an excellent game.
True.
Yeah, you can get it on PS3. You can get it on. Is it on PS5 in the collection?
I think it's in the collection. The only one that's not in the collection is the Portable Ops Metal Gear.
But that's in the
So-
Legacy pack, so you can get that on PS3.
Yeah, the
But,
Legacy one on PS3 has everything.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
And we've got some more games here, including my favorite PS2 game of all time, Dark Cloud. Primal.
Man, you're like really thirsty in that game, man. Like the water consumption is like, wow.
Yeah, but every level's got ponds, and if you play it at a decent speed, you should never run out of water because you can just run through the ponds.
Right.
Yeah, but you're right. If you're just starting off, that game's annoying with the water. Psychonauts, iNinja, Manhunt 2 on PSP. I like these jewel packs. Loco Roco and Papa Pon. And what's this
Loco
one?
Roco and Patapon are really good games.
There's
I
like
got
a
the Loco Roco on PS4 1 and 2. They got like Chinese, English, Asian releases.
Yeah. Well worth it. Like Loco Roco especially, I thought was really, really good.
there's a spiritual successor coming out for Patapon called like Ratatan or Ratatan or something like that. It's a Asian release right now. You can pre-order it on PlayAsia.
I haven't heard,
Might
but
be
that's
worth
cool.
checking out as well. Patapon was also really cool. Really unique concept.
I haven't. It was a long time ago. I read about it, but I'm pretty sure it's the same people who made Patapon.
Oh, Bomberman Land, nice.
Make a new one or something.
Man, I miss playing Bomberman. Bomberman on the Game Boy Advance was so good. I haven't played it on PSP before. The,
I had a
Monster
friend
Hunter
over-
jewel pack.
I had a friend over last summer, and we played Super Bomberman 2 on SNES. That was
Nice.
a really fun time, yeah.
Just looking at this one on the right, the Monster Hunter pack. Like, if you were like a kid and you got this, how many hundreds of thousands of hours of value in this jewel pack have you got right here?
Seriously.
Like,
I
actually
think
crazy.
in Japan there were like 10 or something Monster Hunter games on
Yeah,
PSP and
it's crazy.
PS3.
Online ones.
I'm looking for
and-
Bomberman Land now. I
Mm.
want it.
Is it an actual Bomberman game or is it like a spin-off, like a RPG or something?
I think that one is a spin-off.
Yeah, I feel like that one's not like a normal Bomberland. It's like a 3D platformer or some shit like that. I just don't remember what it is. Hey, there we
Yeah,
go.
Link posted some cool stuff.
That's the good stuff.
Yeah.
That's the charging.
It's only like $20 too. So
Portal.
They look good. I want to get that.
That's the one I got. That's the Power A one that's Sony branded it, and it's like, oh my god, I can't even tell you how fucking much more I use my Portal now because before every time I went to use it, it'd be dead because I wasn't using it all the time, and I don't leave it plugged in all the time, so it'd always be dead when I wanted to use it. So now it's not. So
I had to make it like the Switch. And we've got Epic Mickey on the PS4, the German version. It only got a release in Germany.
Yeah, I
PS4.
should
Oh wow, I didn't know that. That's the version I want then.
Mhm. Yeah, it's the only. It got PS5 over here, but the PS4 that's the only version. Period. I don't. There's no Asian release. There's nothing. Just that German one.
No, it's not like super expensive on PS4, is it?
I don't think it is yet.
Now let me check real quick.
It'll be one of those when people find out about it in a long time.
Like if you want your PS4 collection to keep going, man, you got to go to imports nowadays.
Yeah.
Well, it's not cheap. It's selling for like between 20 and 25.
That's not bad.
That's not bad.
It only
not
came
awful,
out
yeah.
not too long ago. So.
Yeah. My camera's not focused.
Thanks everyone for sharing your pickups. We're a bit slow, but we eventually get to them. So if you want to see your games on the podcast, jump in the Discord, and there's a channel in there to post your pickups.
Hell yeah.
We got one. We've got one more. I'll quickly show it off.
Okay. I feel like I'm gonna get rickrolled. Okay.
That Chaos just posted. Oh, we got the new Sniper Elite. Like I looked at it, but then I read the reviews, and it turned me off getting the game. So.
Is that
and we've got
both
Phantom
Brave?
Yeah, I think so.
The
Yeah.
Switch and the PS5? Yeah, I need to pick that up too.
the Noble Light looked good as well. Nice pickups.
Phantom Brave, I mean, it's a tactical RPG, like not on the level of Disgaea. It's more simplistic than that one, but it's like got that kind of mechanics that Disgaea has. So you got to be ready to play that one. Ugh.
Of all the games to get a sequel, that wasn't on my bingo card, sir. I just not that I have Phantom Brave 1 on PS2. I like that game. I just I'm shocked of all the games in the world that got a new sequel in 2025 that came out. It's so surprising to me.
Yeah, that's what I heard, Chaos. And then, like, they tried to make the game half a Sniper Elite single player game and really push the online. Like, oh, look at all this content we've added to the online stuff. You can pay full price for it still.
Cool. Well, we're about 2.5 hours in, gentlemen. That was a pretty successful show.
Yeah, thanks for coming back on,
Good job.
Beliskner. It was always a blast.
Beliskner,
Yeah, no
you have
problem.
an amazing collection, and your insight's really cool. I love seeing everything that you have, and I love hearing about the PAL differences. Like, it's always fascinating to me when it's like the game that game's $8 in America, it's 5,000 here. I'm like, what?
Yeah, it's always like especially for 80s and 90s stuff. Like all the rarest games in the US are never the rarest games here. It's
Yeah,
always always completely spun around.
It works the opposite too. It'll be $1,000 in America and $5 in PAL, you know.
Yeah, sometimes there's like it tracks like back, so the PAL price goes up a little bit because North Americans substitute, but European collectors usually never do that. So the prices in the US stay the same for.
You too good for ESRB? Is that what you're trying to say? No, there's a lot of people like that.
We don't
here.
get reprints. That's the difference.
For now.
Yeah, for
now.
now, one day.
Oh, it'll happen.
If it makes games more accessible, I'm all for it.
Oh yeah.
Well, yeah, thanks for coming on, man. It was a really good show. Appreciate it, Reggie. Thanks for joining us at like 6 in the morning and
I know, right?
waking up with us. Go get some pancakes. Figsy.
I'm going to bed.
Yeah, you probably need to go to bed too. It's the middle of the night. I'm
Yeah, it's like 3 o'clock here. I don't want to imagine what time it is for Reggie.
So yeah, guys, that was awesome. Thanks for watching as always, and we'll see you next time. Take it easy, everybody.
Peace.
You found the coolest place to be, the PlayStation collecting since how long won't you stay with me? Welcome to the show. Gather round the boys and girls, collectors from around the world. Let's show the people what they need to know. Welcome to the show. Gonna talk to guests, only got the best. Gonna put their knowledge to the test. Gonna laugh and eat, gonna live the dream. Gonna show you things you've never seen. Gonna sing the song to the break of dawn. Gonna rock this party all night long. So come on everybody, let me see you dance. Get yourself ready, you got one more chance.